Okay.
Oh, damn. I am loud.
That's okay. I'm allowed to.
I've learned to be loud,
Nah, that's okay.
but this is alright.
This is
This
all
is a
right.
good level.
All right. So we're going to that is our link for Brian.
Alright.
All right. Oh, I did want to go there. All right, we're gonna need to come up. Okay. Compose. Brian Blues. Brian Udi. Link. Bam. Send. All right, so now we need to get Skype up. Oh, and we are live.
Shit, are we?
Yeah, we are live on the YouTubes.
Oh, fuck. I'm not used to this.
Oh, yeah. Say hi to Dune, probably.
Oh, hi, Dune.
There's one viewer, and if you're not Dune, our apologies for calling you Dune.
Hi, not Dune.
But your name's Dune now.
No.
That's
well,
okay.
I mean,
That's okay. John was on the Dune and Bob show, so when it comes to Dune, you don't have to actually call people by their name. You just have names and you have people.
hello, viewer.
Yeah. So we are literally flying by the seat of our pants. You know it's amateur hour
Yeah, it's the amateur hour.
because everything that could have possibly gone wrong went wrong.
Holy
And
shit, did it go wrong?
you know, it used to be that in the amateur hour, I'd try something new, and if you unexpected things to come up, and I'd find a way to get live, and it would not be perfect, and I'd be, fixing things as we go, and we'd be talking about things, and we'd be joking about things, and we would get it done. But
This was not the case tonight.
this has not been the case. For how long has it been? I think ever since we came back to the East Coast. Anytime I've tried to do something different with streaming,
Yeah,
It-
it goes wrong.
it goes horribly, horribly wrong.
It's like the East Coast is where the jinx really draws
Yeah.
its power.
Yeah, because I mean, well, then again, even up in Maine in the early days, we had the problems with machines completely trashing and all kinds of screaming, but I would still go live. I don't think I ever missed a show until this latest round. Every time I try to broadcast in this room, I think there's like a hex,
Bad juju in the room.
bad juju in the room. And
That's
speaking
what it is.
speaking of bad juju, we got Brian on the line.
Yeah, hey.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, do you like my mirror or chandelier?
Oh yeah, it's nice.
To add to touch of class.
And I would turn on that light, but it's those LED lights that really buzz and hum. It's like, shit, I can't have that on.
No, we can't have that. You know
There's
what?
enough buzzing and crap going on, right?
Right. I should do some panning. And the great thing about this board is, in order to pan something, you have to pan it in two different places. So right now, you're to the left of me and I'm to the right, but people are looking at us with you on the right, me on the left. So I should pan me left, and I should pan you right, and that does it for the aux send. And you know what? We're not live on the streams yet. Me left.
Ah, right.
Why did me left make me go to the right?
Because that's the kind of night we're having.
You know what? I blame the box that Dune gave us.
Okay.
Sure.
You know what? This is good. We're reverse stereo, but that's okay because now I'm to the right and Kristen's to the left in our headphones, so all seems right with the way we're sitting, but I'm actually left and Kristen's actually right to the viewers, which is how they see us. So Dune's headphone splitter box auto-corrected the stereo field for mirror viewing. Is that ingenious or what?
Amazing.
That is amazing. Now, let's see if the encoders...
Of course, the settings say we can swap left or right in case, we, the viewer, can, get confused.
Yeah. Yeah, we.
But then again, I'm getting mono anyway.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Oh, well, apparently, fuck me with a chainsaw, I don't have a D drive.
Oh boy.
Now
Dang.
oh, and speaking of being fucked by a chainsaw, I can't find Skype because it's right behind my speaker. Oh, yeah, just as I was just on the button.
Try again, dude.
No, we're calling them.
All right, so I have to get the D drive up and running now. We're live on the YouTubes only. We're not in the streams yet because the D drive is dead. But that's because I'm switching between. That's because it's a mirrored pair, and I just switched my Windows install, and so my computer is like, well, you know, fuck me with a chainsaw. That's the saying of the night, by the way.
What's the by the way, Venison? With you not on the streams yet, nobody can hear you, and they don't know that I'm interrupting you.
I see. Yeah. I just said, how are you broadcasting YouTube?
Very carefully.
I don't think they heard you. He said very carefully. He's.
Yeah, I heard it.
Oh, okay. I don't know because he's all the way across the room now. So, because he's trying to get the mouse to do something. Oh, I know what he's doing. He can't read it from the couch because the TV is very far away, and he hasn't adjusted the font or the window resolution, so he has to get it close up.
I adjusted it to 1080p because it came up at 4K originally.
Oh.
But I can't seem to get the D drive to import in, and that's where all my radio stuff is.
Oh my god! Wow.
Oh.
So no.
Here's a question.
So you'd have to do live farts.
If you're broadcasting on YouTube on this thing, why not, install a backup encoder just in case?
Well, no, here's the thing. The encoder encodes the D drive, and the D drive is where my sound effects are, and so I really want to get the D drive working. And I did just get it imported, but now it's going to resync the whole mirrored pair, which is really good for it. And then when I switch back to the Windows 10 install, it's going to need to be imported and resynced all over again. And this is why I stopped doing mirrored pairs, because every time I do mirrored pairs, the point of doing a mirrored pair is to have redundancy so that in the event that a drive dies, you have a backup. Doing mirrored pairs results in any time something goes wrong, which happens a lot to me, it has to resync, which taxes the drive and causes every drive I've ever mirrored pair to die much quicker than any other drive I've had.
Yeah, so in other words,
don't do
because you don't have any sound effects, you didn't put a backup encoder in here.
No, well, the backup's built in. That's the whole point of a mirrored pair. It's just that since mirrored pairs suck, you probably should have a backup to the backup, which is why most of my stuff I back up to external drives with a daily task that runs to sync changes.
You're not getting the point, though. If you're broadcasting on YouTube, you should be able to do an encoder.
Oh, no. We are encoding now. We are encoding now. Now I just... Hi, stream. Now I need to find my sound effects. There's my sound effects. Do my sound effects work? Let's see if my sound effects work.
Yeah, you're encoding YouTube, but... Oh, there it goes, I think.
Yeah, it's starting.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
This is what was happening in the apartment here.
Yeah.
Okay. Angry drums. All right, but let's actually open the shoe.
Shoe, man.
The shoe, the big shoe. It's going to be a big shoe today.
That's just it. My other shoe's got a hole in it.
Yeah, so does your roof. But that's... All right. Maybe I should set my resolution to be... You know what? I don't care about this install. I'm just going to set a low resolution here.
So you can fucking read it?
Yeah, so I can fucking read it. Not just read it, fucking read it.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Oh, there
wow,
we
that's
Oh, that's
not
beautiful.
Helpful.
That's not helpful. No, that's like the same resolution.
But brighter.
But brighter. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
oh,
the whole room, your whole room lit up.
Well, there we go.
There we go. Now
Those used to be yellow walls, now they're white.
Yeah, that's because the TV, it's brighter now, so we're getting that
Yeah.
as well.
Hey,
as the
it's an Apple
bulbs.
It's an...
Hey, and he's supposed to be tech support.
All right. So here's what
Dumbledore, where are you?
Dumbledore. So we're streaming, and the messengers are up, and we're live, and we're less than a half hour late. This is good.
Awesome.
For how long?
Um,
For how long?
For how long? Well,
Hey, don't jinx it, dude. Don't jinx it.
Well, you know what? For how long? For fucking ever. You know why? Because lowering the resolution has caused me to drag the encoders to be off the screen to where I can't reach them and stop them.
And
So-
it went dim again. What the hell is going on?
All right, let's set the screen resolution back up to about there.
Yeah, that'll do.
Who needs to read anyways?
I don't. Oh my god,
That's
that's
right.
even worse.
All right. We got a 4-3, and the encoders are still off the side.
Oh my god, that is the worst. It's got the bars on the side. Oh, and you really can't read
This
it
is
at
the
all.
final countdown to when
Oh my
Gator starts
God.
throwing computer equipment out
You know,
windows.
we'll stop streaming by. We'll end the stream by you just plugging the cord or just turning it up. Well, at least that's my.
All right, that's where we were before. All right, so I need to find 1080p now. But now I can actually read the numbers.
The
So-
computer genius at work.
All right.
Well, they don't have him connect. Well, I guess they do have you connect things to TV. Don't
All right,
they?
there's the encoder.
All right, we can end
There's
the show.
Winamp. Okay. Yay.
Just shoot us. No, don't. I don't. Don't shoot me. Shoot the computer. Just.
All right, so now I can drag everything.
I like living. I
Shoot the
bet.
tech.
I meant the statement. I just want to go to sleep.
I'm looking for a special presentation stereo compressed. Check. I don't know if that's going to play in that Winamp because that Winamp tends to not like files that are high quality.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty shitty.
Oh wow, I like
is
it.
that?
I like it better when it just doesn't play. That's because that's a really old version of Winamp without plugins.
Okay.
But it's got the encoders. I got it free from DEF CON Radio. So that's
Shout out.
Yeah.
That should tell you everything.
Oh, what a surprise! Windows 7 wants me to run a bunch of updates.
Oh wow. Yeah. Hey, you have like 100 or so. No, probably like 250 updates to upload. Would you like to do that now?
No,
Or
but
not upload,
but
but install.
once again, there. All right, so
Oh, there
there's
it goes.
there's
There's
the
the other.
Winamp that will actually work. That has Madonna Beautiful Stranger queued up, so that was the last thing I listened to on this hard drive before I
The
turned it
hell?
off forever.
Wow, that's why. Why were you listening to that? Was
Oh,
that
well, because that makes me think of Felicia.
okay?
All right.
I sent her cookies and cough syrup.
Well, that's nice.
Okay.
Sure, she appreciates that.
She was into a guy named Guy, who was totally not into her.
Do you live in Canada?
No, I believe he was in a European country, and she was on a class trip to Europe.
Oh, okay.
And she ended up like meeting him there, but she was like totally infatuated with him online, and just couldn't seem to get over him. But you know, she didn't really figure out he wasn't all that into her because he was like, yeah, we'll be friends, and that's cool, and doesn't want to like hurt her feelings. She
Right.
actually like ended up staying at his family's house, and then he like left out, and she still had to stay there for like another week
Awkward.
with the family.
Oh man, that's so awkward.
Hey,
That's
dump this
messed
chick
up.
on the family. They probably loved it too.
Yeah, it was. She said it wasn't as awkward as it sounds. Like, they were all very nice. They all got along. But you know what? It's time to open up the show now. So
That's
here's.
still fucked up, man.
Yeah.
All right. It is. But all right. Let me make sure I have the sound I need. Do I have the sound I need? I do have the sound I need. Okay, so we could really open the show.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, probably.
live. You are tuned in to
Insert title here.
the show that changes names so often, we had to put a placeholder in place of the show's name. This week, we are filling the space with an old classic, the show name that started it all, the Amateur Hour. And this is exciting stuff. Isn't this exciting stuff here, Brian?
It's totally exciting.
Yes, and Venison, are you excited too?
Excitement? No.
No.
Still a little on the downside.
Well,
But, you know, if you don't like it, then we'll give you a timeout. And you'll be on the timeout show.
Yeah, because we could be timeout. You know, Dune could still put us in timeout. Heck, Dune could put us in corner time, and we'd be the corner time. Or, you know, if Sir Mars were to drop into town, we could be Suburban Homeboys. Or if, you know, if Rye were to be passing through, we could be Rice-A-Roni University.
I would love to be a part of Rice-A-Roni University.
Especially if he brought Skittles with him.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But anyways, no, there's a whole reason. I've been doing a lot of thinking and soul searching lately. As people who like read the Facebook posts both of you. And I'd like to thank both of you for posting. I appreciate that. I post I've had a lot of conversations with former co-hosts, and many former co-hosts I'm still on good terms with. Some former co-hosts not so much. Some co-hosts it's complicated, and some co-hosts I'm trying to figure that out. And I've not exactly been all that. I feel like the show hasn't really gained focus. I kind of feel like, I'm living in the shadow of. I'm starting to feel like Damon. You know, Damon's never pleased with what's going on right now, and is always talking about back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, except I actually have a back in the day.
No, I mean everybody has a back in the day, honestly.
And so I've been.
That is the nicest thing I'll say about Damon today, or at all.
Yeah, no. Well, Damon had a back in the day, but
He did.
Back in the day. Oh yeah.
Back in the good old days, you know.
But dude, we should be
Life
moving
was
forward.
wonderful all the time.
And we should be moving forward, man. Of
Well-
course, then again, changing names all the time doesn't actually make you move forward. It makes you spin.
Yeah,
Right?
there is that. But I do, and I'm open to change, and I'm open to moving forward. It's just that when I did that whole final show of the Amateur Hour Suburban Homeboys, that turned out to be a mistake. The intention was to shift gears from having 3 shows a week to 2 shows a week. And the weakest link was the weekday show. And so I figured, all right, everyone wants to do a show on Saturday. We'll do a show on Saturdays. Maybe I'll bring some gaming into the mix. And let's, celebrate what we were doing on weekdays for all these years. And also draw attention to the fact that we're going to do something different. The thing is I didn't clear it with any of my co-hosts. And at least one of them is very pissed off about that. And at least 2 of them might be passive-aggressive about it. Although Mars assures me that there's no hard feelings at all. But being that I can't get him to return my calls, I don't know I completely believe him. But we're going to talk. I mean, we're still cool, and he doesn't want to do shows. But every time I've approached him in the past, it's been, like, hey, why don't you come back and let's do the show just like we used to. Right now, I'm asking people, what do you want, and what would you like to do? I'm even asking the listeners, what do you want, what do you like to listen to? And that's why I posted things in the Facebook group, because I'm hoping people that used to listen might see that plea for feedback and explain, well, here's what I used to like, and here's why I stopped listening. So if you happen to be listening and you missed the Facebook page, or if you know someone that doesn't listen, or if you yourself are not listening, you might want to, go to either the Amateur Hour Facebook page or the
Insert title here.
Facebook page or the No Holds Barred Radio Facebook page and find my little post there and post your feedback. Now, I posted that on there during the week, and I got 2 replies and a thumbs up and a TLDR from Addy because he's an asshole. And I
TLDR.
too long didn't read.
Oh.
That's typical. Anything longer than 3 words, you pretty much get a TLDR from Addy. He just loves to. You know how Addy is.
Yeah, I do.
So 4 words is just too much.
He's completely out.
Yeah. 4 letters that represent 4 words. The 4 words
But he can do 4 letters, but not 4 words.
Right, because if
There
he
you
actually
go.
wrote in too long didn't read, that would be too long, and I wouldn't read that.
Right. It just means he doesn't give a shit.
And, I've been doing a lot of thinking and soul searching, and so I reached out to Neo, because I miss Neo, and, towards the end of the show, she was barely there, because she was watching Doctor Who, and, I figured, let's see what she's up to, and she asked, what do you have in mind? And I said, I don't know, I'm trying to get feedback from other people what they want to do. I mean, heck, if people are interested in producing a podcast and have a cool idea that I could get in on the vision, I'm cool with that. If people want to get together with some kind of other show idea, I'm cool with that. I reached out to you, Brian, and we talked about that. You sent some emails. What do you like? What don't you like?
Yeah,
What
sure.
do you want to do or not do? And
Yeah.
we're going to talk about his thoughts on there, because that's something we are going to start bringing into the show. And
Total mayhem.
and then this past weekend, something amazing happened. An old listener that used to write into the show, Megan the Box, tuned in to Dune and I doing a music show on Saturday night. And that reminded me of, for some reason, I think Meg was calling into Skype when my computer was crashing. And I think that made the Zane quote list of the week. Because back in that time, Zane used to put in show quotes. And so I pulled up the email that Zane had the quotes from. And I found it was from April 2008. And I was like, oh, let's go pull up that show. And unfortunately, that is one of the many shows that was lost in the great hard drive crash of 2009, when I lost about a year and a half's worth of shows to the ethers, gone for good. And it's a shame. The closest thing I had to that show, though, was the March 30th show of 2008, which was the first show that we broadcasted from Oakland. And I brought the show up to listen to a little bit of it because it was from the same time period. And for those that don't remember, when I left Maine, in Maine, Seth was second mic. He sat next to me and was, in the driver's seat, and everyone else was around remotely. Well, when I moved into Oakland and I got my computer set up, I didn't have a desk yet. So I basically had the computer set up at the TV, set up the board and mics on the coffee table on the couch, and Kristen was my second mic in the room with me because, she usually joined remotely. And Seth and other people and Dark Elf were still around, and Emily, and they were joining remotely. And it was really a very different era and period of the show. It was short-lived because, a month or so later, I bought a desk set up in the kitchen. And at that point, Kristen was just hearing me rehash things that had happened the week previous that she already knew. And Forge and Damon and Pedge were getting involved, and then Venison showed up. And so Kristen kind of went off to do her own thing. And it's kind of, got lost in the shuffle. Don't even think much about that era because time just kept marching on.
That and they're lost. They were lost.
And the shows were lost. But, oh my God, did Kristen and I have great chemistry.
Who'd have thunk a married couple would have good chemistry?
Yeah. Well, we weren't even married
Really?
yet.
Well, yeah, that's true. You weren't married yet.
we had been dating and we were talking a lot online, but we had just moved in together.
That's true.
And-
That's why the fun bus happened.
Yeah. And
Ooh, living in sin.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd say don't tell my parents, but yeah, they totally know.
Yeah. I think they figured it out.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, you're going to go live in sin? Here, have a guinea pig."
Yeah. As you
What?
do. My brother was allergic to his guinea pig.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, the pig kind of likes you. No one else cares
Oh,
about him.
you're
So
gonna-
here, take him.
You're going to get an apartment? Oh, you could take the pig. So that's how we ended up with the pig.
That just sounds really weird.
Yeah. And
Is my dowry. It's a guinea pig.
yeah, exactly.
And this coffee table.
And so it's a shame that those shows are lost for good, but that made me go, oh my God, I'm reaching out to old co-hosts, finding out what they want to do and maybe try to do things with co-hosts that have come and gone. And there's one right under my nose I didn't even think of. And, you know, I kind of thought like you were just tagging along and you didn't want to be here. And then it's like, no, we actually had really good chemistry. And we have good chemistry in real life.
We do. It's not just an act.
No, exactly.
We really do get along and have fun together.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And sometimes I feel like I don't spend enough time with you lately. I mean, we've kind of gotten into a rut where I go to work, I come home, and we have dinner together, but we're just watching TV. And I talk about my day some, but
And I talk about my day.
and that's a lot of the same type of stuff.
And then we lose something to us fucked up computers.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know, she's got her computer in her room. I go to my computer in my room, and I spend more time there than I spend with her. Whereas, like when we first moved in together,
Well, we had a smaller place.
we had a
so-
smaller plate. Yeah, she didn't have her own desk yet, so she was kind of on the couch, and the TV was on, and the desk was over in the kitchen, but it was open
So we
area.
could yell at each other,
Yeah,
like
we
every
were-
once in a while, just like, joke around.
We were
or
always in the
whatever.
same room. We didn't have our own rooms to go off to. And it was really a different time. And so I'm like, you know what? Every now and then I kind of think, like, am I, sometimes it happens to married couples where they drift apart and they don't even realize it. And I don't feel like that's happening, and I don't really fear that happening, but it's on my mind, like, am I ever going to find that happening to me someday? And so I think this is a good opportunity for us to do something together again.
Yeah.
Well,
I
and
mean-
it comes down to you have to keep working it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not
Exactly.
working, then it drifts apart.
Exactly.
Right, and we're not drifting apart, but we are in a little bit of a rut, and this is a way to kind of, smooth out the rut, I guess.
Yeah.
You could
Sure.
put in a two-way intercom.
I mean, we could buy like a baby, like walkie-talkies. There we
get
go.
Walkie-talkies, yeah.
Walkie-talkies.
Good.
Not even
Breaker,
walkie-talkies.
Robert.
There's an intercom system you put in, where you can, where I forgot the damn word. Where you can listen to and talk to each other at the same time.
But
But not quite it. We don't really need that.
we don't need
quite
that.
yet.
Not quite yet, but
I mean, we can text each other. Hell, I mean,
Talk text. Oh God.
but anyways, like I
Just
was
don't text
mentioning,
each other when you're sitting at the same table.
yeah. See, that's when the problem.
That's
happens.
when you got a problem.
I mean, it's funny we're talking about this, but my parents seriously would like be in the same not IRC, but the same Telnet chat room when the internet first really became a thing.
But anyways, I do want to take a moment to talk about something that is lost to the ages and the last remnant that's left of that. And the last remnant is our memories.
Yes.
So we may as well talk about it. Because, like I said, the first show from Oakland still exists. If you have the entry Funbus 2.0, I recommend pulling those shows out. They're great to listen to. You hear Dune talking about why he doesn't like Max.
There's we did a show of Zang. That was cool.
Yeah, we did a show with Zane. We dragged him back onto the air one last time because he was still active on the station, but he had stopped his show long ago. He barely had the equipment to put it together.
He was doing the quote list. That was his big contribution
Right.
during that time.
And he didn't have enough equipment that we had to actually use your laptop to wire into his board for Skype calls.
Yes.
And that was when we had Damon talking about the roles that all the NHB staff would play if he ever got married, with Sloan doing the toast.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's
God.
right.
Yeah. So, and then we did the show with Vamp, and he wouldn't let me take my pants off.
Nope.
No, even though his intro says "take your pants off,"
No.
that's only for people listening at home without webcams. But when
Sloan doing the toes. Oh God, I can see the people leaving out of there, vomiting.
it is thick. I mean, half the rooms, a portion of the room is going to be NHB staff people, but
And-
most of the room's going to be Damon's family members.
And the bride's family members.
The bride's family, yeah. But a show that's lost forever took place on April 13th of 2008. And that was the show that I took the multi-track rip that was floating around the internet of Bohemian Rhapsody and kind of did a little digging into it. And we reached a point where it was close to the end where the, head banging, bum, 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 bum. And I'm analyzing those parts. And someone was on the line with us. I want to say it was Super E.
Yeah, probably. I don't remember details.
Who said, "Take it home, Johnny." And what are you supposed to do to, take it home is not a phrase you use to the guy sitting behind the mixing board. I mean, you shout over the guitar player, "Hey, take it home!" Take it.
Yeah, like the bass or the drummers or somebody
Right,
going
right.
really hard.
So-
what can you do? You can slide that thing aggressively. Ooh, yeah, let's pull it up.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
Sorry.
really move those pans, and so no, I didn't. So
No reverb, no echo.
I mean, well, I had a few things I could have, but it's Bohemian Rhapsody, and the tracks already were pre-printed a lot, so it really just needed balanced levels and things like that. I mean, it was
No
more.
imagination.
It was more. Well, no, I did have an imagination. So what was the best way I could take it home? Mute the vocal tracks, pull up the instrumental track with a rough mix, and start singing like Freddie Mercury. It was the only thing I could do to take it home.
I mean, yeah.
I took it home to an early grave, is what I did. And so, yeah. So some of the quotes relate to that. So Zane McFate sent a email to the talk list I still have here, giving the show a rating of Q. And I believe that was because at some point during that show we had a conversation about Zane rating our shows on a scale of 1 to 10. And I was kind of teasing Zane's show ratings or whatever.
Yeah, probably.
And so
That makes sense.
He rated me a Q because Gators is a punk. And then Zane continues on. I feel like I'm unfairly judgmental of shows that go longer than 2 hours because my attention span simply can't hang on that long in most cases. Regardless, I did eventually get through this show. Let me add, however, that it was quite entertaining. And I even laid back and listened to the Bohemian Rhapsody stuff a few times because that is the stuff that fascinates me. I would love to be a producer for a living. Quotes. All right, so quote 1 is me. Webcam Max is trying to hog the spotlight and crash my computer.
Go figure.
Yeah, well, that was back when I was using Webcam Max
Yeah.
to be able to do effects and stuff when because we were streaming to Stickcam in those days.
Yep, Stickcam was still the thing.
Yeah, and that was how we ended up getting featured on Stickcam while defiling an image of Jesus on cam.
Oh, good times.
Peek of Jesus.
Peek of Jesus.
Good night.
We'll tell that story next.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
sorry. Keep moving.
I need to get a better microphone. for
Sorry about
you.
that.
I have my second mic is really crappy, and I need to work on that.
Yeah, and I gotta work on not moving so much.
You're lucky you're hearing sound at all right now. You could write in on NHB Live through Twitter, or at NHB Live through, or is it? No, it's at NHB Radio through Twitter, at NHB Live through Skype. You could also Skype in at NHB Live, and I might even be able to find the window on my screen.
Yes.
So if you want to write in or call in, please feel free.
Not a quote. I thought that was a quote. I'm like, wow.
No.
Why did you pick that as a quote?
No, next quote is a quote from you, and I wish I had the context for this.
All right, let's see if I can remember.
Well, you could you read under Webcam Max. I'll let you read your quote.
Oh, okay.
Do you need me to blow that up a little bigger? If you do that.
Yeah. If you do that, you just kind of disappear into blackness. And then you reappear at your last save point, right? Wow.
Video game humor.
I'm all about the video game humor.
So
Because, yeah, I don't remember the context for that. But
that's too bad. We're probably
Yeah.
talking about someone dying or something or someone doing something stupid that causes their death.
yeah, because that's totally a thing that,
Someone jumping in front of a bullet, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. So maybe you're reading some weird news story or something.
Or a speeding car.
Yeah.
There you go. Someone doing something stupid, basically. Next quote.
No, I wouldn't exactly say that about jumping in front of a bullet because there are heroes now because of recent events.
That's true.
That's
Got to be mindful of that.
yeah. Well, I
Our
was
hearts.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of those kids. That's all I'm gonna.
We'll leave it at that.
Those kids are great.
The next line has to do. This is back when Andrew was having problems with his intestines,
Oh yeah.
and we were having the Operation Save Yohas shows
Right,
and stuff like
right.
that. And I was talking about that, and I made reference. He had his large intestines taken out, and I made reference to his large intestines. And I realized, well, I made that comment in error because he, and so the line that I said was. He doesn't have any issues with the large intestines anymore because he doesn't have large intestines. And at some point, Zane thought the line that I said, quote, "We only steal 1 bit per show." I guess Zane...
Well, I mean, I guess.
I guess I was doing something that was ripping off another show, and then I did something that ripped off another show, and so I was like, well, we only rip off 1 bit per show. for each of the other like we
Well, any show we
rip
watch.
off one bit from ADHD, rip off one bit from Damon. Only one bit per show. And then, of course, I'm asking for people to write in, and this line still applies today. If you're out there listening, write in. And if you're out there not listening, write in anyways.
We love to hear from people.
And now here's the quote I was thinking of that made me look this up. Because I think there was an update that was installing, and Skype was updating like it does like every 10 minutes. And now I've got a clock that is counting down to either when it will finish loading or when my computer will crash.
I mean, that totally still applies.
Right, because my computer was crashing a lot during that period of time.
Well, it was a new setup.
Yeah. And then when I was working on the Bohemian Rhapsody thing at the beginning, Mama just killed a man, there were actually alternate takes of Freddie singing that line. So if you just brought up all the tracks, you heard like 3 or 4 of Freddie Mercury singing kind of in unison. And so I was going through looking for the ones to mute to get the right one. And I made the comment, as much fun as it is to have 3 or 4 Freddie Mercurys, at that part, that's not how it's supposed to be. And of course, the next quote is the infamous, so you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, crap.
Oh, yeah, I think you put reverb on that, too. So the oh, crap was especially funny because you had the reverb going.
Oh, I wish I still had the recording
of that.
that.
No, that was so good. That was really good.
We did podcasts back then. If anyone downloaded that podcast, please message me. And then the next one was Forge's comment about the singing I just did. Forge saying, I think that was in the key of restraining order. Because I think I was commenting that was a little off key.
You were pretty aggressive, as I remember.
Well,
because you're putting your heart into it. Unfortunately, it came across as kind of thing.
Well, how can you sing like Freddie Mercury?
You can't.
You put everything into it, and just it comes out awful.
Unfortunately, you can't. You try your best, but I mean, Freddie Mercury's Freddie Mercury.
He is. The next one is Dark Elf. I think was talking about Chinese food, or we were talking about Chinese takeout of Chinese food, and Dark Elf was filled with the spirits of vodka, and he said, if there are any American Chinese or Chinese people out there, I do apologize. I sincerely regret my words. But you do have funny accent, and I love it. Do have a funny accent, and I love it.
You're giving him a funny accent.
Yes. Right. Gets up bright and early, fresh as a daisy.
Yes.
Anyways, and then another line I said, I guess I was going to talk about downloading stuff illegally or something, and so I said, hey, if you work for the RIAA, turn off your stream for about 10 seconds. And here's your line. Your line's up next.
I can read it. Every time someone says Rickroll, I think of sushi, which, that's still true.
There we go.
It's just, oh man.
Oh, and this
I
was
never really understood that anyway.
It's just something goofy.
Yeah.
Same thing as barrel roll.
This one.
Do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll. Rick roll, barrel roll. They're all
never
rolls.
understood that either.
Hey, it beats the Tide Pod crap, right?
It really does.
You know what? Yeah, tricky people into open up music videos of Rick Astley far better than eating Tide Pods.
The internet was, well, no, I was going to say it was kinder back then. It really wasn't.
I think it
Right.
was. It was the good old days of the internet when no one said
Put a
anything
shoe on
bad.
your head.
Put a shoe on your head.
Yeah, no one said anything bad.
Yeah.
It's as bad as saying that you got to check out this website, about something or other interesting, and they go to it, and it's Lemon Party.
Yeah, I was about to say Lemon Party or Meat Spin.
You spin me right round.
Top girl, eel girl.
If there was a counter that counted how many rotations on Meat Spin, and when it got to like 10, it would pop text up on the screen to let you know that you're gay.
Poor Ben. He freaked. He was directed to Meat Spin at one point when he was looking something up, and he flipped out because I was in the room with him, and he was like 8 or 9 at the time, and he was like, "Oh my God, I swear I didn't mean to go here." I totally understand.
I was laughing my ass off.
I didn't get it the first 3 or 4 times.
No?
Well, I mean, all I thought was, oh crap, it's a gay sex video and closed it. It took me a while before I noticed that the dick was spinning around in a perfect rotation and there was a counter going.
Yeah, I guess
So
if your
I-
instinct is like, no, I don't want to see that
I
dick.
didn't understand why they were playing, an 80s, lesser 80s hit. I mean,
Right.
You Spin Me Right Round's not exactly the most classic 80s song. I
Right,
didn't
yeah.
understand it was called Meat Spin and that the attraction was that this dick was flopping around in a rotation. I just thought it was,
Oh,
look
nope,
at,
dick gone.
look at this dick going up this
Well, yeah,
guy's
I mean,
ass.
well,
I-
well, you don't even see like any. You just see the one dick spinning.
Well, you saw the other dick entering and exiting what was obviously
sh-
an asshole.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I just was.
What?
I guess I was
Do I need
watching
to pull this up
spin.
right now?
Yes.
Oh, you're going to make me pull Meat Spin up on our big
If,
55-inch
Yeah, check that out
TV.
because I didn't see that part.
yeah. See, I think you're making things up.
I'm pretty sure Meat Spin was two guys, and the guy was being taken from behind with a
I don't
dick up
know,
his
I
ass,
just
and that's
remembered
why
the
his
dick's-
dick was flapping around.
I just remember the dick spinning.
Uh,
We have.
we have to activate
are you sure?
Adobe
The
Flash.
Flash is like, are you sure you want to do this?
All right, let's see.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, there is a penis going into a butt.
You didn't even notice
I
the gay
didn't.
sex.
I didn't notice the gay sex.
Oh.
I noticed the dick spinning around and flopping up all
I
over
noticed the
place.
gay sex. I was paying attention.
I don't know
to
what that says about you,
I-
honestly,
well-
but okay.
What?
I'm not saying anything.
Wait. You mean noticing gay sex happening is more gay than noticing the big floppy penis going
Well,
around
it's
the
not
circle?
actually that big, but I get your point. It isn't like the penetration is that hidden, but the flopping is pretty outrageous. So your eye is drawn.
I'm just
to the
Yeah,
spinning.
you sent us to the floppiness. You didn't even notice the penetration.
Yeah,
What-
exactly.
What I noticed was that there were two guys. That's what I noticed.
There are two dicks on this.
Right, exactly. That's what it's like. Aha. And they do the Hank Hell.
Whoa!
All right. The next quote of the Lost Show to share with those people, since I don't have the recording. We were doing a Dollar Bin special, and there's a album called "Fun on Stage" with Elvis.
Oh, this one.
The whole album consists of
No
nothing
songs.
but in between banter of Elvis on stage at different concerts. Because,
and it sounds as good as the listening to the record sounds as much fun as the description.
Legend has it that Elvis said one night, sometime I say funny things in between my songs. Someone should make an album of that.
And they're like, yes, sir, Elvis, yes, sir.
And someone did.
It's old fat Elvis, by the
and,
way, not the fun young Elvis.
It's
pretty sad.
I think it's something that was through a technicality. Someone got the legal rights to do it, and it might have been sold at concerts, or I think they tried to bury it or something. I don't know the details. If you
Yet
Google
somehow you found a copy.
if you Google it, you can find MP3s that you can download
Yeah, that too.
for free. This might be the part that I was telling the RIAA to tune out of.
Yeah, that probably.
But my comment about the record was diehard Elvis fans would probably buy him doing the Singing Dogs version of Jingle Bells. And I actually borrowed that joke
That's a good one.
from someone on 101.5.
That makes sense.
Said that line once, and I remembered it. And I thought it was good, so I'll give credit where credit's. It might have been Don Tandler, the record handler, that said that. And then the other thing was talking about, mind you, we were only in Oakland for a few weeks at this point.
Yeah.
And so, but the quote was, I've been avoiding my family until I have a job, because that's always the first question. Hey, you have a job yet? And I don't feel like saying no.
Relatable.
Oh.
Not really funny,
My
but definitely
family's
relatable.
My family's not the guilt trip type. I mean, it is a fair question. How's the job hunt going? Hey, you found a job yet?
Yeah,
And they're
it's no
not hounding me.
judgments.
They're making conversation. But I kind of judge myself when they ask me that question. And so that's why I was kind of like, I want to have some news about a job before I call and check in with the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't remember why I was talking about that, but that was
Well,
another.
we're probably talking about what's going on in our lives,
Right.
Because it is a big change.
Oh, and then this was Zane's very apologetic explanation of
The pager.
when Zane let us crash at his
was very
apartment
nice.
overnight, and they had a guest room with a twin size bed that we squeezed into, and
work.
and a pager that was going off every 15 minutes.
Oh yeah.
It was on vibrate, which
But
was
it's every once in a while you'd still wake up to something.
just enough to be annoying, not loud enough to find it and crush it.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh no, okay, I can explain the pager. Our best friends Dave and Mary came over, and Dave left his work pager in my car after a weekend trip to Tennessee. He's a medic, so he has to keep that around in case there is an emergency. I hadn't gotten around to taking it back to his house, and unfortunately it wound up in your room, and I didn't realize it." And then we were talking about Jehovah's Witnesses, because they were knocking on our
yes.
doors. And I was talking about, like, you know, don't they believe that, like, there's only a certain number of people going to heaven? And, like, you know, shouldn't they not be recruiting more members because that would be more competition for the limited number of slots?
Right.
In fact, their membership has far exceeded that number.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's Zane clarified that because he knows a bit about it. To clarify the stance of the Watchtower Society, otherwise known as Jehovah's Witnesses, they believe the 12,000 people from the 12 tribes of Israel will be rescued and resurrected on earth after the rapture, totaling 144,000 people. This is a literal interpretation of the book of Revelation from the New Testament of the Bible. The rest will stay out their lives on earth and die. Those who are not among the 144,000 will remain dead, and in their belief, death is the end for those people. The belief is called annihilation of the wicked, meaning there is no afterlife for the non-elect. You know, this is far better than eternal torment in hell.
Yeah, I mean, just you don't go on. You're just dead.
I gotta say, Jehovah's
Fair.
Witnesses is sounding much more fair than the Catholics right now.
See, that's why I would talk to them.
You know, I mean, you go to the ground and do nothing, far much nicer than you go to hell and you die.
Burn in the lake of fire
Yeah,
and all
you
the
know?
pitchforks and shit like
You know,
that.
I've had a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses show up in my place. I didn't have time for it. But I actually wanted to have time with these people because I wanted to ask them some questions.
You know, my mom did some Bible
Yeah, but-
study with some Jehovah's Witnesses once.
No, but see, the trouble is Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in Christmas, and so you don't get any Christmas gifts.
No.
See, that
Yeah,
sucks.
well, they
That
don't.
does suck.
They don't believe in
Celebrations.
Well, they don't believe in celebrating birthdays for
Yeah.
one thing, because in the Bible, only
As
pagans
well.
celebrate birthdays. So
I guess we're celebrating Christ's birthday by giving gifts to other people.
right, and it's not even.
Because we can't
Well,
give gifts directly to Jesus.
Keep in mind, Christmas is based off of a pagan holiday because Jesus
Oh,
wasn't born
fair.
in Christmas. Jesus was born in the lambing season.
Mhm.
It was all about being competitive with the competing religions. Well,
Right.
they get the winter festivals, but we can't celebrate pagan holidays.
Yeah, that's
so,
why we have a
hey,
tree and everything.
We
'cause
can
Yule.
celebrate Jesus' birthday, and we'll just move Jesus' birthday to December 25th, and there we go. We got our holiday
Well,
now.
and then we have it all screwed up because, you know, in December, the only reindeers that have antlers are the female reindeer. The males don't have any. So when you see Santa and the reindeers and they all have antlers, they're females.
But no, Santa's reindeers are a different breed of reindeer. They're magic reindeer that can fly.
Well, they could
Oh,
still be
they only
male.
fly because of magic feed that he gives them.
The magic, little magic dust, as Cheech and Chong taught us. Little bit of magic dust.
Or, I mean, the feed from the Winter Warlock from that's the Christmas special.
Oh,
Santa
yeah,
Claus is coming to
yeah,
town. But I mean, it doesn't mean that they could be a different species, but that
yeah,
doesn't mean
no,
they're
I
not
think
male or
they're a
female.
magic
I mean,
species of reindeer that can fly, and they have their. As far as I'm concerned, they have antlers year round. Santa's reindeer have antlers year round. I say.
if we're gonna be fucking picky about it, then like every depiction of the reindeer aren't actually real reindeer. They're like regular deer, like white-tailed deer, because reindeers have those really wide noses.
Except
they
Rudolph.
They look more well. Rudolph could have a giant red nose. That would make so much more sense than the little beady, nice little bead he has.
Hmm.
I swear, I love.
True, but then again, you know, in Western society, Jesus is white.
That's true. It's all fucked up.
Yeah.
Even
Christmas-
though it
With
says
blonde
in the
hair.
Bible, in Revelations, he's a brown man.
Well,
He's
yeah.
Middle Eastern. You know. and-
Yeah, I mean, because that's where he was. That's where
Yeah,
he was
duh,
from.
that's where he was born.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
Christmas is built on a stack of lies. We've established this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
that's,
still, you can
that's
still
one thing
give a
always got
gift.
me.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
we should still be nice to
Right,
each other.
right.
Everything else is a lie, so
Check
let's
this
have.
out.
But the
This
Jehovah's
is one
Witnesses
thing
don't
that's
wanna
always
mess
got
with
me.
that.
When the people's names in the Bible, you're in the Middle East. What names come out like Luke, Peter, you know? Hey,
Paul.
what the?
Well, they got
No.
it translated from the Greek.
I don't know the detail. You know,
And the
I'll have to-
Romans took it over, so.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Fucking Romans.
Anyway,
If their names are Giovanni and shit, you know, where are those names? Those are, you know, English names.
so anyways, yeah, so that was Sloan. No, that wasn't Sloan's quote.
Sloane's
Well,
quote.
Zane's last comment was that the Elvis thing we played kind of makes him think of ... Sloan.
Which, I mean, it was Fat Elvis when he was on this
It
decline,
was
so
babbling
I
Fat Elvis,
kinda
saying
see
silly
that.
things between songs. But the other thing he mentioned about the Watchtower Society is that they have removed their statement about the 144,000 from their pamphlet sometime in the 80s after their church membership grew to over 144,000 and sort of caused a conflict of belief. So they've kind of been on the DL about that.
Yeah, but that's really what it is.
Now,
it's sort of like when the
And
Mormons...
Elvis is still alive, but under a different name.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Well, Skylark
totally.
has filled us in on that.
But it's like how the Mormons, they used to be like, everybody is pure white when they go to heaven, and they kind of like push that aside because, you know, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, some of their...
And most of them claim that they don't believe in polygamy anymore.
That too.
Right.
Right, even though many of them still are. It's called serial polygamy.
Right. Well, there are the
Oh,
certain
there's the
sects
show,
that
Sister
are
Wives.
offshoots. Offshoots.
Yeah, but those
Offshoots.
are the ultra conservative ones. Those are not
Right.
the normal ones.
Right.
Right,
the normal
right.
ones don't.
Among the
anymore.
normal ones, they say, "Okay, time to go get another wife. I have to divorce this one."
As King Henry VIII intended.
Yeah.
Yes,
I was gonna say how
exactly.
God intended, but nah, not really.
Right.
All right.
Actually, there was
back in the
a
Old
manager.
Testament, weren't they allowed to have multiple wives?
There was a manager at this facility I worked at when I was in Denver, and in this guy's office, and he was Mormon, and in this office he had this credenza, and on the left side was an 8x10 picture of his wife with his kids, and the other corner was a picture, 8x10 picture of his wife, his other wife and their kids.
Oh, nice.
Well, equal time, you know, you gotta...
Exactly.
If you're gonna do
Yeah.
that, you may as well be
I was
fair.
so tempted to say, so which one is your current wife?
Yes.
Yes, both of them,
Yeah.
yes.
You just say yes.
This one and then this one, alternating. Wait,
Right.
you don't need to know that part.
That was a Monday.
In fact, I
Wednesday,
didn't want to look
Friday.
too closely to see what age groups the kids tended to be in, or were they kind of overlapping?
Yeah, right?
I didn't want to know that.
That's a little too much.
Yeah,
much
polygamy won't work
information.
anyway because it'll drive the husband crazy.
Anyways,
I don't know how the Mormons worked that out, but I agree with you, Venison.
You know, you think.
Hell, one is enough, right? I mean, oops,
you know,
we didn't
it's
say that,
funny.
did we?
I was talking to Addie, and Addie went through a period of time where he how much can I say about this? He was seeing more than one girl at the same time,
That's fair.
And-
That's a good way to put it.
and
Go on.
and he ended up with neither of them, which is how that situation
Sometimes
usually
it
pans
works out. You know.
Yeah, well,
Go, huh.
he had trouble making a decision, and he followed his heart, and you might say he made a mistake. You might say he made the choice he was supposed to make because neither of them were going to work out anyway. You know, but it's complicated, and his feelings are complicated. But he ended up with neither of them, and so his current girlfriend knows about this. And so she wants to ask him, would you ever do that again? Would you ever, cheat on me with another girl on the side? And he said, no, I would never do that again. And, which is the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then she asked the follow-up question. And that's where the trouble started. Well, why wouldn't you? And he goes, oh, it's too much work. And that's when the fight started.
Right. Well, when I was in college, my roommate had this girlfriend, and we were invited to a wedding. and he was in the, he was one of the groomsmen. So at this wedding, I hung out with that woman, that my friend was dating, because, hey, what the heck? She's not part of the wedding party, and neither was I. So, hey, we'll just kind of hang out and enjoy the wedding or whatever. Well, after that, after that, we kind of got together, and it's like, okay, we both know that it's over between her and my friend, so this is okay, right? Yeah, but it wasn't officially over, and the whole thing was awkward, so we decided just to end it.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta have it clear through all parties.
You know?
Yeah.
I had a situation when I was my first job after college was working at Walmart in Manville, New Jersey, and no one wants to look at Brian while I'm telling this story, and so the
Sorry,
hangout,
Brian.
the hangout flips back and forth wildly when Brian tries to talk.
I can't even see that, so that's okay.
Yeah, you just see me, but since I'm streaming, it shows me what's going out. So I see how it switches back and forth, which is good.
Yeah.
But because Venison's background noise is loud, which we can deal with,
Yeah, it's no problem.
it means that every time you pause, it switches back to my camera since I'm feeding Venison's feed. So when you talk, it's better for me to click it to stay on you.
Maybe I can take care of that.
No, that's okay. I just have to manually choose Brian's camera angle.
Is that better?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I turned the heat
Yeah.
Well, yeah, who needs heat anyways?
Oh, that was the heater sound, because I could hear that, and it was pretty loud. It's like, wow, we got a lot of fuzz here.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that's working the board?
We should fire him.
Yeah, I could fix it. There. Noise gone.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, but Venison was gone too.
Oh, okay. Hey, sorry, Venison.
He's back.
We
We're
really
unmuted.
do like you. We
do
really
like
do.
you.
Yeah.
We do. All right.
Sure.
So I started
Stupid internal mic.
I started a job at Walmart, and there was a cute, short, female working in the electronics department, and she was just my type, short, dark hair. I just realized I'm walking into a bit of a quagmire here.
What?
Yeah,
It's
be
the past.
very
Who fucking
careful on who
cares?
you step.
Isn't she the one that looked like Willow? Wait, you said dark hair.
No, the one who looked like Willow was at the main Walmart. Had red
okay.
hair. It was named Kat, and had the she dumped me after I helped her move.
Right. Sorry, go on.
So she got what she wanted.
Yeah, no, she was very nice. I think it was kind of an honest, like, this isn't clicking, and I don't feel like putting any effort into this, and now I'm like, an hour and a half away from you, so let's just not. And but thank you. Had fun. So yeah,
That's something.
I mean, yeah, no, she was very nice. I mean, it sounds like
To your face.
she was very
Well,
nice.
that's all that
Yeah,
matters.
was.
it's not like she texted you, right?
No, I didn't have a cell phone back then.
Good.
Text costs money then.
No, I was supposed to go over to her family's house for dinner for helping them move, but after she kind of didn't want to give me the second date,
They're like, nah,
I was
we're not
like,
feeding this chump.
I didn't call to come over to dinner because that would have been
okay.
awkward.
Yeah, I guess
Be like,
so.
well, but we're still on for dinner at your family's house,
Please
right?
buy me pizza.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but no,
New Jersey Walmart girl.
This was Julie.
Okay.
And Julie was engaged, and it started out that we worked together, we hung out together, and so she some other guy that she knew in her past was kind of like looking to get back together with her, and so she kind of started talking to me like, I don't know what to do. This other guy wants to get back together with me. And I'm like, but you're engaged. And she's like, well, right. I'm like, well, then what is the dilemma here? I mean, you've decided that this person you're with now is a person you want to spend the rest of your life with. And now, this guy from your past that already didn't work out is coming around talking to you, and you're trying to figure out what to do. I mean, what's, and he's like, oh, you're right. And so she sent him away. and then started coming on to me instead. So that's when I figured out, okay, I guess this engagement's doomed.
Right.
And she's just my type. Short, cute, 2 kids. Wait, no. All right, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, I'm like, nah. I had the guinea pig. The guinea pig counts as a kid,
Yeah,
right?
no, she was 11
That's right.
She was 11 years older than me.
Well, even better.
I was 22. She was 33, and had 2 kids from a
Maggie
divorce.
May. Ooh.
And somehow she didn't end up with custody of them, which makes you wonder how did she fuck up?
Yeah.
Because usually
Perjury.
the mother gets custody. I don't know what was going on,
That
but
was a
genocide
that was a
Rob.
And she wasn't involved in drug use or anything like that, because that's usually
That
the answer.
could have been.
No. The only drug use was medical drugs because she had a condition that caused her to have to find a public restroom every 10 minutes.
Awkward.
That every date
But,
was
yeah,
basically
I was trying
where's
to make
the
all my
restroom?
children joke, but okay. Perjury.
Perjury. Oh yes, perjury.
Shout out to my soap fans out there.
Shout out to Erica Kane.
My homegirl.
Shout out to Susan Lucci wherever you may be.
God bless you.
Perjury. Yes, that's what it
Sorry.
was. She perjured herself.
That's how Erica lost.
And Jackson
Bianca.
wouldn't back up her lie.
So good.
And that's how Julie
Such a
lost her children.
Julie?
No.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Right, but no. So me and Julie. So Julie starts coming on to me, well, she got my attention right from the start because her opening line was explaining to me how good she is at giving head and how she could demonstrate this if I wanted to sometime.
Wow.
Now,
Maybe that's why she don't have curds either.
this is Virgin Johnny she's talking to. So I'm like,
Yes, ma'am.
No. I mean, I you know what? I'm not gonna. The first time I have any experience isn't gonna be in my
I know.
car with the Walmart chick who is engaged to someone else that's just
I know,
showing
I'm
off
teasing, I
her skills.
remember.
I'd only do that with someone I have some kind of relationship with.
Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson.
No.
And
No.
she wouldn't be able to really show off her skills anyway because you'd come in a minute.
That-
She'd just lick your dick and
That
boom,
was-
there it goes.
You know, I was worried about that. I because
Makes sense.
I was just the thought turned me on so much. I thought for sure the second the lips touch my dick, it's just going to be a fountain.
Right.
I think I held out all right.
I don't
the first
remember.
time. That was the only time that there wasn't a taste problem.
Yeah.
Burger King needs to bring back the chicken tender crisp sandwiches, is what I got to say about that.
I've
Wow,
got an
that was
issue
a
with
big
certain
direction.
tastes, so unfortunately, the taste I have issue with is just natural taste. Anyway.
I was trying pineapple juice. I was
That didn't
making
work.
blueberry pineapple smoothies. It was.
Just didn't work.
I tried everything.
Good.
I'm nice like that, I want to do all.
So
I
good
can.
husband treats me well.
This is not awkward at all.
Nah.
So anyways, so Julie was bragging about this, but I wasn't interested in just, meaningless sex, so I didn't take her up on the offer. But, we were flirty, because I found her attractive and she was into something about me. I don't, maybe it was the blue vest that I wore working at Walmart, or maybe it was the name tag, or, maybe it was I still had hair back then,
So what's that kind of orange yellowish vest that they're wearing nowadays? I think it's hideous.
I thought Walmart got rid of the vests and just tell people to wear a polo shirt that's blue.
Maybe it's
Well, that's most of them, but I saw I saw a few guys at Walmart just in this last week, and it's this hideous. Maybe it's supposed to be a gold colored.
I don't
It's just
know.
this hideous vest. Of course, it says Walmart on the back and all that kind of crap. But
maybe it's to keep people from hitting them with cars.
Let's see. It could be the cart.
these didn't look like guys that were going out to the parking lot to pick
I
up
have
the cars.
No idea. That's my.
These
best
were
guess.
older guys. They look like managers. Although I don't know why you'd have more than one.
Large Glosty tweeted in to 5-Hit Dune and us. So much room for activities with a link.
Oh boy.
Hopefully it's not to Meat Spin.
No, it's not.
So much.
Oh, and I have a special message for you from Dune.
Oh, it's from Step Brothers. That's a good movie.
I think this is a reference to that we have enough room to dance around in, maybe, because we're streaming in this room here now.
And our living room is pretty big now that we have arranged the way we
arranged it. Yeah.
Arranged. We can
Well, if you
set up
ditch
a
the coffee
VR
table,
thing.
then you could dance.
Hell yeah,
right?
we could.
Oh, heck, I got room.
Anyway,
to dance in front of the coffee table if I want to.
good grief.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
boy.
Okay.
The neighbors
Just
downstairs
don't.
are going to complain.
Yeah. And we don't really want to see your
Barefoot.
butt.
It's okay.
Okay.
Like I said, I got a special message from you to Dune, from Dune.
From Dune.
And it just says, tell Kristen's husband hello for me.
Oh. What'd you do to Dune? Well, that's a silly question. That's a silly question. I know what you did to Dune.
Dude writes in, cool. Finally a website I have not seen and never will. Johnny fouled me with 2 girls, 1 cup, but no spitting meat.
Yeah, dude, don't worry. You don't need to go to Meat Spin. Just
No.
take our word for it.
Just
We described pretty much what was going on there.
You know we right down to the counter.
I saw the counter.
And
We watched it 15 times because we really had to make sure. Yeah, there's penetration.
The point with the Julie story, though, and I've told this before, is that we started dating while she was still engaged to this guy, and she swore to me up and down that she wanted to leave him. She didn't like him. He was mean to her, and I believed her because heck, she was talking to this other guy. So it's like, okay, this is kind of making sense. She's feeling trapped and is trying to get out of this relationship. And you know, I was totally like ready to commit to someone that I got along with, and you know, we were getting along. You know, we only dated a few weeks, so you know, but I was willing to give it a try. You know, even though she had 2 kids, which is probably way out of my league at that point.
You worry about that later.
You know, that Walmart paycheck only goes so far.
Oh, you were thinking that far into the future. I thought you were just thinking about the actual meeting.
I was
how awkward that
basically.
shit is.
She asked me if I wanted to have kids, and I said yes. And she said, "Well, the operation to undo the tied tubes is going to be this much, so we're going to have."
Wow, wow.
So yeah.
Wow, she was the one who. Wow, that's pretty.
What?
You ain't making enough money, honey.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, no. I mean, it was.
I guess it. Well,
So
I guess it's like, hey, just maybe you don't want to be with me
But
because I can't actually have kids because I got the tubes all the time.
I basically decided, so yeah, I was dating her while she's engaged to this other guy, but I had my limit. I set my, because she was, into showing off her skills, and I basically said, we're not going to be together that way until you get out of this engagement. And then
Fair.
And then she started getting kind of pissy with me, like, well, I'm not ready to get out of this. Because I was like, when are you going to break it off with him? Because this isn't cool, Not to mention, it's the town of Manville. You fart, the whole town knows about it.
Yeah, exactly.
The gossip in that town is crazy. So
it's not a big town. You can't hide.
it's, and it is a well-known for gossip. So it's like, dude, he's going to find out, And
I don't want to deal with that shit.
I don't want to deal with that
Who
shit.
wants to deal with
Who
that
wants to
shit?
deal with it? No,
She obviously does. She
I'll
wanted
go
that.
with you. We'll tell him together. I can hide behind you if he gets angry. He won't hit a
Yeah.
woman, right? He won't hit. He's not hitting you, is he? Is?
Oh, no.
Then you're already used to it. He'll be fine. No, this is.
Maybe that's why the club owner moved to my town. To get away from the rumors.
This might be why our relationship didn't work out.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, that's not what
No,
I
I know
said.
you
I
didn't
was
say
told.
that.
I totally talked big. Like, I'll go help you. I could stand up to this guy while thinking to myself, "Oh my God, I've never been punched before. This is,
This is gonna hurt.
I wonder.
Is she worth it?
Is
the
he gonna?
blowjob, though.
Is he gonna keep punching me once I pass out, or is he gonna punch me again when I come to? I
I hope the
mean,
blowjob's worth it.
well, no, I was in it for the relationship.
No, I know you were.
I-
You're a good kid.
So, anyways, he did find out about it, and she immediately dumped me and got married to him. So
All's well
yeah,
that ends well?
yeah. There is no such thing as it's over until it's really over. So yeah,
Maybe she
don't.
was just kind of itchy to sow her last bit of oats
You know, that
before
could
she
have
got
been.
married.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on because then she wouldn't speak to me and told me to stay away from her and leave her alone, which was really weird when you think you're dating someone and then all of a sudden you don't hear from them and they're like, I don't want you talking to me ever again. It's like, dude, we were just like dating, like, just
Like most software companies.
yeah. So, but then she kind of approached me and said, I'd like us to still be friends. And I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to make sense of this. Like, dude, all this time you told me you don't want to be with this guy, and now you do it. I mean, what's going on? Why? And then I had people coming out to me saying, I was so glad to hear you got out of that. I didn't want to say anything to you, but you're so much better off without her. These are people I barely know. I mean, I'd only worked at the store for like a month at this point in time.
Right.
So,
Wow.
yeah. She was.
But I think people need to be more honest about something like that.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
hey, she's not a good person for you.
Yeah.
Right. See something, say something.
Now
This friend of mine dated a woman when he was in while he was in the Air Force, and he was temporarily assigned to Denver, and he met this woman at the O Club and decided to marry her. And this other friend of ours from Connecticut said, no, that's not a good thing. I'm not going to go to the wedding. I go, well, and I went with my wife. We went to the wedding and we were fine, but it didn't last very long. So in effect, our friend in Connecticut was right. I think he just did it the wrong way. He just kind of goes, no, I'm not going to have anything to do with this. I'm not going to go.
I mean, you could voice your opinion, but then, still be there for your friend. I guess there are some people that feel
Right.
like, they have to make their statement.
Yeah,
with,
and maybe
with
he just
actions.
couldn't afford the time off or whatever to go to Colorado to the wedding.
Well, yeah, it
I
could
mean, that's
be.
all possible, but,
But yeah, people that
but
make
you
a
could be
statement-
honest about that as well. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
yeah, sorry, dude, man, I can't afford to go there.
Well, who knows? But
You see all these people that says, oh, yeah, we're going to have our wedding on Hawaii. Really? All your friends can afford just to go to Hawaii to your wedding?
I think the point of that is to not have your friends at your wedding.
In fact, like a friend of mine went to Hawaii for a wedding and then came back home. Didn't even experience what Hawaii is like.
Yeah.
It's like,
You gotta. If you're
I
gonna do
would
it,
have
do it
loved
right.
to have spent a couple of days there beyond the wedding.
But if you don't have the time or the money, then all you
Right.
can do is go to the wedding.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
a shame because Hawaii's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
So
Brian,
I've heard.
did you like that link I sent you earlier?
Yeah, that musical production thing.
Well, it was a because since I knew tonight we were going to be talking about the quotes from that show where I was, Zane talked about how getting into music production was cool, and we were looking at the multi-tracks. It reminded me of there was a program. It was a pilot. They're actually going to do a series of programs about the recording of musical soundtrack mixing up a drink. No.
Yeah.
Venison, did you have the glass right up against the mic? I mean,
No, it was on the other side.
dang,
This
that
is one
mic
very
is sensitive.
sensitive mic.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I think Venison's got the whole place mic'd. He has a mic for every glass in the place there.
And everything that he has laid out on the table or whatever, because
Yeah,
we hear a
exactly.
lot of racket.
Actually,
which
you're not
is
too far
different.
off from that.
Yeah,
I knew
I
it.
kind of figured.
All right. So, anyways, no, it was a pilot for a series they're going to do on the making of musical soundtrack albums. But they only ever did the one pilot, and it fell through. But they did air it, and I saw it many, many years ago, like when I was in high school.
Oh, so this was that pilot.
Yeah, and they aired it on
okay.
they aired it on PBS. I saw it on PBS when I was in high school,
Yeah.
but this was obviously done in the 70s, as you could tell from there's certain elements of it's a musical, but you definitely know it's a '70s musical. What with the
the
keyboard
way they're
sounds.
dressed and all that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't watch the whole thing. I only watched here and there because, I only saw it about 15 minutes before we were supposed to start our pre-show. Of course, that didn't happen.
right. And
But
then
I
it was
thought,
looking-
oh, okay. So, but I
Yeah.
did see some clips. In fact, it was kind of weird. That link started kind of like in the middle.
oh, sometimes
Is it-
YouTube gives you links at the point that you're watching at instead of like
Right.
the actual
yeah.
link.
From the beginning, yes, right.
Yeah,
It's like-
no, but
That was
but-
weird.
Yeah, I hate when YouTube does that. I don't want it to do that, and sometimes it
Yeah,
just decides,
hey,
you know
give
what?
me that video from the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just gotta make sure you see the start from time.
yeah. Well,
Figure that
oh, you know
out.
what
Right.
it was? I had watched.
But it was in mid-song, so it's like, what
You
the
know-
hell is this?
I had watched.
I had to
it-
look back at the email to kind of go, oh, is this what we're... Oh, yeah, okay, that's what it is.
I was watching it before, and so it remembered where I was the last time I had watched it.
Oh,
And so when I
yeah.
clicked on it,
One
it
of
resumed where it
those.
picked up, and I scrolled it back to the beginning, but the link automatically
Was still
put in
there.
that time frame. So
Yeah.
when I copied the link from my browser, it passed that along to the next person.
Oh, YouTube, you're so functional. I
Yeah.
See,
love
now
you.
for me, I'll start watching something on a tablet because it's easier to look at things, and then I'll go to the TV because it's lousy. The YouTube app on the smart TV, and I'll go into the history and hit the link to that thing, and it'll start from where it was left off. And then when you go back to the tablet, it might be at a different spot. It's like, or does it go back to, it's weird.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's touchy sometimes.
Let's see if I can
Yeah.
find. I'm going to try to find the right link and tweet it now, because if you're listening right now, I recommend it, because even if you're not into musicals,
It might be in your history.
there's a lot of
See, now I'd rather watch, the Steely Dan Asia album thing,
yeah, well that
where they
doesn't
talk about how they did the album.
right. Well,
but-
that's a different type of documentary, but
But yeah, but still, it is, shall we say, music recording, music production, whatever, just in a different flavor.
well, it's a look back, and the songwriters, and plus it's a different type of an album. This
Sure.
is a fly on the wall type of documentary. I mean, you see, the guy that's the producer is listening to things and checking the levels and things like that, and he's checking in with the songwriter, and he's there listening, taking his notes. And in between takes, they're talking to the musicians and giving them tips on how to enunciate their words properly, and so you really get a lot of that feel for. I mean, at one point, the producer's like, "I just looked at the schedule. We're going to be here till 4 a.m. Smile, smile, everybody." Smile.
Right.
And so it's like
man.
late into the wee hours of the night recording session with a whole orchestra and band and drum set and all the performers, and they probably got another show to perform the next day, because I mean it's
Yeah.
actually having
Now
a Broadway run.
on Sirius XM, they have that Beatles channel
Right.
still, and there's a segment that plays on Saturdays and maybe Wednesdays, but it's like a weekly show where they have a Beatles forum, and you have people that are discussing their experiences with the Beatles. And, they're talking about, all kinds of different things. But, for example, the famous Abbey Road rooftop, mini concert that they did. And they, talk about the different people that were up there, like Alan Parsons. Oh, he was one of the guys that was running the mix board and
We
stuff
worked
like
at
that.
EMI, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's kind of cool, but, it's a completely different thing. Yes, I see that.
Yeah.
And, of course, that's just a discussion. They weren't playing a lot of the clips. I mean, if they would talk about a song, they would play that song, but,
I mean, the Beatles' Get Back project was kind of gonna be something like that, except that they weren't making an album. They didn't know they were making an album when it started
Right.
out. They were preparing to do a concert, and they had cameras in because it was going to be a TV program about it wasn't going to be a movie. It was going to be a TV program, like a made-for-TV
Right.
movie, which is why it was
Right.
shot in 4:3. And then for the movie, it was at some point cropped to 16:9. And then when it was prepared for home video, it was further cropped back to 4:3. But certain editions are in the original 4:3, and those are the ones you need to seek out. And, you know,
Right.
of course, there's controversial material from a very bad period of time for the Beatles, which is why
Sure.
they still refuse to put it out on DVD, because it still brings up old issues that, you know, it's not
Sure. Yeah.
all water under the bridge yet.
Sure. Yeah, more of them have to die, I guess.
Yeah, a few more. Well, actually,
Few more. Who's
Death
well, I guess.
Death actually makes it harder because the Beatles still run in a 4-vote operation. So
Right.
you know, John and George, if they were alive, could change their minds. Yoko and Olivia had to be convinced that someone who's dead would be okay with something that they feel they
Sure.
wouldn't be okay with. So how do you convince? It's
So
hard.
maybe more
Yeah.
people have to die.
Right. Well, I see what you get. Further generation, someone that's in it. For money.
Yeah.
Right. You know, a guy
Get the
says, hey, well, I'm
cousins.
running out of money because my coke habit's too high. So therefore, let's put this out because I want to make that money.
I don't know. I mean, the Harrison estate and the Lennon estate are pretty well off. There's songwriting catalogs that continue generating income for, you know,
But at some point, if there are more parties in that, let's say, you know, how many kids does Lennon have?
well, only one that counts. I don't think Julian gets anything. I
But
think,
then,
I think it all
then
goes
the
to
next
Sean.
generation, you may have even more, so it all gets diluted. And of
Possibly.
course, the price of cocaine keeps going up.
Yeah,
Well, of
but
course.
we're talking Beatles income.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but you're starting with a quarter, and then if that quarter is split up further and further.
that's a pretty big quarter, though.
Yeah, it's
Oh, sure. No, I get that.
It's
But I
not
mean,
just a chunk of change. It's royalties that come. I mean, they keep repackaging, reselling that catalog.
Sure.
People are still buying it. Royalties, airplay. I mean, that's.
If
No.
it were any other band, maybe there would be
Yeah.
the point where it's like, yeah, someone's gonna sell, but it's hard.
sure.
To,
Oh, yeah,
hard-
yeah. I
but
mean,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it's definitely a big thing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. There's
So-
no changing. The people who survive, the members are like, no, this will totally
Right.
go against their wishes, even though.
But see,
they
the interesting
would.
thing is, so why did they say yes to Sirius XM? They want the money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
I mean,
they want to expand on their fandom, shall we say?
It was a good deal.
Because if they don't do anything,
It wasn't a
eventually the
sellout
fandom
deal.
disappears.
It wasn't a sellout
Exactly.
deal. It was a good deal. I mean, there have been good deals
Yeah.
and good projects. I mean, the Beatles rock band
Yeah.
was an interesting project, but it respects the legacy of the band. It's done
Sure.
in a positive way. Then there's scraping the bottom of the barrel and releasing tapes that some members considered rubbish. And I
Right.
mean, the fans are screaming for the Carnival of Light to get released, but George Harrison called it rubbish. And
Right.
how are you going to convince Olivia that he didn't really think that, or I think he'd be okay? No, he already vetoed it.
Right.
It's going to be very hard to convince Olivia to override that veto.
Sure.
And besides, we all know what the Carnival of Light is really going to end up sounding like. We all think that it's a group collaboration that was driven by Paul, but YouTube taught us that it was really a Ringo song. I need to find the right... There are so many fake versions of it on YouTube, but somewhere is the real version of it that I stumbled onto one time. Here we go. Here's the real Carnival of Light.
To you, the Beatles' lost song, The Carnival of Light. It's the
Are you screen sharing this or
Carnival of Light.
No.
It's the Carnival
not
of
set up.
Light. Look at me.
What?
Brian asked if you're screen
I
sharing
know,
it.
just making it
Oh,
up.
no, it's...
Can't do it right now.
I
Is
could,
it any
but
good, Paul?
this-
No.
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 Not easily.
George,
Yeah.
no. I'm just making it. It's the Carnival of Light. Stop that. I said stop that. Just having fun. Stop. No. Okay, I won't write songs then. I'll just let you write the songs. Then I always play drums. What the?
So that was the Carnival of Light.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't release that either.
No. Actually, the Carnival of Light was really someone approached Paul about doing a avant-garde type of piece for a happening or a rave or an event. The million volt light. Something or other. Yeah,
Maybe.
million light volt rave or something like that. But so they were, I think, in the process of recording Sergeant Pepper when this was happening. And so Paul kind of came in and said, hey guys, let's do this thing for them. And apparently it was kind of a, just go in and play anything you want to. But it wasn't just that. There were some tracks already laid down. Apparently it's got some schmaltzy organ on it. It's got some percussion beats on it, but nothing that ever really breaks into a steady beat or a groove. Like, there are hints that it's going to break into something, but never really quite does for very long. Apparently some of the notable characteristics of it is Paul and John screaming in demented voices, things like, are you all right? Electricity. John screaming at some point, Barcelona! And these are...
sounds like a good song to eat some shrooms to.
Yeah, no, it's that type of a tune.
Freak out on some shrooms. All in...
Yeah, apparently
And the
when
gang.
George Martin was asked...
Paul is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. George Martin was asked about it, and he said, I don't
No,
remember...
he's the walrus.
When George Martin was asked about it, he said, I don't remember it, and it sounds like I wouldn't want to remember it. I think I seem to recall that when they were done with it, they were like, oh, finally, let's get something I can sink my teeth into. So it was not considered anything of great quality by most people involved. And it was performed at this event, and no one knows where the tape went that was at the event. Someone might have actually taken that tape home, but it's not surfaced in bootleg.
Burned it.
But, I mean, the master tape is in EMI's vaults. It's still there. They did consider putting it on the
Lock
volume.
and key and alarm on it.
It was considered for Volume 2 of the Beatles anthology, but George vetoed it and said, nah, I don't like avant-garde music. Strange words for someone who released a solo album of avant-garde music, but whatever,
Well, a person can always change their mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for when they die.
Right.
Although-
I would go with, so that was your final decision.
And then he could be overridden.
So, but Paul has expressed interest in putting it out. Paul has said that he likes it because it's, the Beatles going off piste. And he'd like to put it out to see that, hey, we were, doing that type of stuff too. But he would have to get approval from all the others, and he's busy with so many other things. So it's just one of those things that's not happened. There was speculation that it might get put on the Sgt. Pepper Ultra Deluxe box, because if ever there was finally an opportunity to put this on something, the $100 Ultra Deluxe box set of outtakes from Sgt. Pepper would be the place to put it. But they left it off of that. Apparently it was considered, but they decided it really didn't belong with that, and maybe they'll do something else with it. I don't know what. I mean, they're running out of opportunities or time or projects to use this for.
Now, every iTunes user is going to wake up with it on their iTunes morning.
But it's going to be credited to you too.
Yep. Be like, what the fuck is this? It's a U2 song? It doesn't sound like U2. Carnival, what? And then
It's like Carnival. Yeah. Anyways, so as I mentioned earlier, I've been checking in with everyone about what they want to do with the show, and I don't know what I'm doing on the couch here long term, but Kristen's here tonight. I don't think I can make this happen every Monday because I have to break everything and fix it.
Yeah.
And but we might do some video. Here's the thing: is that setting this up, making this work, and then finding a way to make video games work with it. That's the next challenge.
Right.
I'm gonna have to spend some weekends figuring that out. But we might do some game streaming together, and we got good streaming chemistry.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh my God, video games! No, they're the video games what caused the massacres.
Okay, but Brian
Yeah.
pointed out that what he likes about the show is things like when Dune checks in with us, because he calls in, he has his topic, we take turns asking him questions, and he hops on out. And Brian, that's a brilliant idea to kind of, and he was like, we call the show Check In, and that's why I was like, well, that let's keep it insert title. Let's keep it what? I wasn't saying that.
Oh.
Did you hear me start to say something?
No, I think you coughed.
It was that.
It was a hair ball.
Yeah,
It was
you coughed.
I farted that enunciated almost like words.
Damn, that's a talented ass.
No, but
Really?
technically we
Now, does it
never-
really stink?
I don't smell you. That's the amazing thing.
I'm good
It's
at
a
that.
silent but deadly.
A
Oh, wait
silent
second.
but not deadly. Silent but lively. So even though we changed the name
The
to
sweet
Time
smell
Out-
of success.
I'm not
Don't
going to
do
go there.
that.
So even though I changed the name to Time Out, I never updated the page or the Facebook page or the logo. So technically we're still muted.
Oh, well, muted, yeah.
Yeah, technically we're still
Good
Insert
one.
title here.
and so I've decided we're going to stay
Insert title here.
with the whole concept that we can fill in that title with what we want. And so weeks that we check in with people, we can call it. We can fill into the placeholder. Check in. Check in with Gators and Brian. And
Or like your Dollar Bin special, which is always just a segment of another show, of a main show.
yeah,
It could be the check-in segment. or
check in
whatever.
with Dollar Bin specials. Or some weeks if we got reunions.
Yeah, I don't think those combine very well, unless, of course, the person that calls in has some junk that he got in from a Dollar Bin special.
I mean, that's something
Right.
if you check in with Seth and it becomes a dollar bin
Right,
special.
we can check in with Seth. Or I could check in with my record shelves.
Could do that
I don't
too.
know.
Well, dollar bin is.
But we can fill in whatever we want in that blank. So we're going to keep it.
Insert title here.
And this way, if we do reunion
Sure.
shows, like this week, we were kind of thinking back to the couch era of Amateur Hour, and so that's why I filled it in and even used the theme. And we could do more of that. Try to figure out how to make this work some more often.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do a couch show from my house because everybody that sat on my couch ended up falling asleep. It's a real comfy couch.
well,
Nice.
I don't know. I tried to sit on your couch. I ended up on the floor.
Well,
Floor can be comfortable too.
Yeah.
I can't help you got no ass.
That just happened. So, anyways, this gives us a chance to check in with Kristen
Yeah. Hi.
because she's been doing her own streaming, not with us.
I have recently, like within the 6 months recently. Yeah, it's been 6.5 months actually. I
Is
started.
this a weekly gig?
It's actually
Daily.
not. Yeah, pretty much daily. I stream
Whoa.
on Twitch every weekday. I started
my
out
goodness.
streaming 3 hours every morning, and now I've added another stream in the afternoon. 2
So
hours.
you're gaming, correct?
Yes, I am gaming.
Yeah.
She's streaming other people
No, I'm streaming myself.
behind his back.
I'm streaming myself playing video games.
So this is a solo gig.
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay.
I started off. I still do. In the morning, I stream a game called Let It Die, which is a PS4, a PlayStation 4 exclusive free-to-play game, where basically something terrible happened. A giant earthquake happens on Earth, and splits Tokyo off from Japan, and also causes a huge tower to burst out of the earth, and you have to climb it because no one else has. And so, what you do is you go and climb it, and you kill a lot of things in the in the meantime.
Wait, so nothing else has climbed it, but there's living things on it. Are they not climbing it, or are they
They're not
descending it?
climbing it. They're staying. That's where they live until they see you, and it's like, oh man, that guy needs to die.
Because you're
Because
not
you're
staying
there.
put and just living there.
So you're defending yourself, therefore, by killing it.
Exactly, because you got to get to
Right.
the tower. There's a treasure or something. There's something amazing up at the top of the tower, and you're the first one to do it. and because
Will it save the Earth?
no,
Do we know what's on the top of the tower yet?
I do know it's on top of the tower
Uh,
because I have been to the top of the tower.
oh, so this isn't a huge deal. People made it to the top.
It's not. There's only 40 levels.
Okay, so is this kind of like South Park Guitar Hero? You know, you won this many points. You are a giant douche, or something like that.
No. It's a good, satisfying ending.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
no, I found it satisfying. There have been people who have like this ending sucks, but it's a trip. And like I said,
Well-
I'm sorry, you have made it to the top.
I have. I've made it to level 40. I've beaten the final because each 10 floors has a Don in charge of it, and he's the main boss. So you go up every 10 floors, you fight a big boss. So I fought the last big boss. I've gotten to the final point at the top of the tower. And it's one of those things, well, it sounds like, well, what do you do after that? Well, there's other things. There's sub-bosses. There's more floors. They're adding more floors. This is an active game. The community's excellent. And the
You're
developers...
not saving the world or anything. You're not, bringing peace to mankind. It's
Nope.
all for personal gain.
Yes, actually. Although,
Nothing wrong with that.
are you the person
It's-
gaining?
It's the American way, you know.
Or the Japanese way in this case.
Oh, okay.
But the developers are really trying to get in tune with the community. In fact, next week they'll be doing the developers will be doing a live stream where they'll talk about the new stuff that's going to be happening in the game. And it's always a fun time when that happens because, like I said, it's a Japanese game.
So they'll add more levels.
That they have said they're adding more levels.
Cool.
Hopefully in the summer. We're hoping to learn more information. But this, like I said, next Monday, they'll be doing a live stream, which I'll be watching. And it's great because they have a live translator there, and it's a mess because the developers are speaking Japanese. The translator's trying to keep up with the conversation, and there are two people speaking Japanese, and there's only one translator. And so she has to really work double time to really get everything going. But it's great. They're doing Q&A sessions. They're letting us know what's going on. It's a great time to join the game. But so I've joined this community. I've really found a place, and I'm really happy.
And your
about
Twitter
it.
channel, we should tweet not your Twitter, your Twitch.
My Twitch channel.
Your Twitch channel. You're on Twitch.
All right, so I'm
streaming.
I think it's twitch.tv/Lumish. I'm following you, so
Let's see if that
double-
link works. You're offline right now.
I am offline right now. Yep, that's me.
Because trying to figure out how to stream to there and here at the same time would have
that would
involved.
have just
I would-
reset fire.
I would have to have broken more computers.
But so that's what I've been doing in the morning. I stream from 9 to noon Eastern time. That's the best. That's probably the most that's the one I've been doing since I started streaming. So it is the most popular stream. I've added an afternoon stream that's only 2 hours, but I'm playing retro RPGs. So the game I've been playing right now is called The Seventh Saga, which is a game that was released on the Super Nintendo by Enix. I keep wanting to say Square Enix, but that was before Squaresoft and Enix became one company.
I thought you were going to say it was programmed by Unix.
No. It'd be a lot more frustrating if that were the case.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, because Enix does some other games, right?
Yes, they did I think they did Breath of Fire. Secret of Mana, I think, was also theirs. But like Square was the company that did Final Fantasy, and now, like I said, they merged to Square Enix, and they still do Final Fantasy. I don't think they brought any Enix titles.
And now you've been asked to join some group of people for some kind of a Friday cast?
That's something that is still up in the air. Like I said, I've got
Have I jumped a gun? Or are we not?
you might be jumping the gun.
Okay, no announcement yet, but stay tuned.
Yeah, no, like I didn't mention this going out to anybody in the community because he told me that I should have told you
All
that.
right.
That was
sorry.
nothing.
I didn't
That's-
realize this was not for air yet.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know. Fridays? No, yeah, you do stream every Friday.
I
You stream
do
every day.
I
Yeah,
stream-
Yeah, that's what I was
yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
No, Friday, totally. You got the morning stream, got the afternoon stream.
Yeah, and there's people that listen to you, so that's the group I was referring to.
Yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
I'm in the Let It Die community on Twitch is small, but really tight knit and friendly to newbies. So come by, check it out. I have my regulars, and I have people. I've become more. I don't want to say popular because now I've got some trolls. I've noticed lately that there are people who come on like, "Oh, your PSN avatar is nothing; it's ugly," and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, cool, whatever.
Okay, fuck you.
Yeah, just ignore them. But everybody else is pretty cool.
Everybody's got trolls.
Yeah,
We used to have trolls back when we had listeners.
yeah. But this is the third week I'm doing the afternoon stream, so there's not many people watching, it, but they do come by, and that's exciting. So yeah, I noticed, Brian, that you followed me on Twitch when I followed Gator's Twitch channel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I just went into Johnny's follower list, whatever, and says, "Oh, this is probably something that I should be following."
Yeah,
Of
that's
course
true,
it is.
I should be.
Yeah.
You were absolutely right.
Yeah, that's me. He said,
Yeah.
you could watch me. Well, I'm like I said, I've got to the top of the tower, and I'm working on getting into the extra levels.
I'll
so you
actually
can
have to
me.
watch. I'll have to actually watch some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Is it? People are friendly. If you want to sit
Yeah.
and chat, I'll talk
Sure.
to you. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's been a lot of fun, and it's helped me keep a schedule too, because that was a big thing. Like after the summer with all the trips and everything, I was like having trouble keeping a good work schedule, and this has kept me on track on comics and commission work too. So
Sure. No, I get that.
yeah, it's like the dessert. Like, oh, if I work on my comic, I'll
Right.
get the dessert of streaming video games, which
Right.
Well, there we go.
that's at least
Gotta
me.
get through the day's tasks.
That's at least me playing video games. So it's been
Right.
fun.
Yeah.
And if you could make money on it, that'd be great.
I have gotten to the point where I can make money on it. Twitch has 2 levels, well, 3 levels basically. The basic user, affiliate, and partner. And I've made it to the affiliate part where now people can subscribe to my channel, which in turn gives me some revenue.
Yeah.
They can donate bits to me, which is Twitch's own currency. Like you buy bits from Twitch.
It's kind of like Bitcoin, but it's
Yeah, in
Twitch,
fact-
Twitcoin.
Yeah.
Twitchcoin.
Twitcoin.
But
I like
can't even
that.
say it right.
Well, they had their bits longer than Bitcoin. Well, I don't know actually about that. I'd have to
Yeah,
look into
Bitcoin's
it.
been around a while.
Yeah, I know. I just like no.
Yeah.
That's been a while. Time is
It's been around.
And of course, it's only really good if other people accept them.
yeah.
And
But
if you
this-
could just go back to Twitch and use them, that's fine. But ultimately, you kind of go, oh, but
well, no,
can
no,
I go to a Sears store and use them? Oh, wait a minute, Sears is not going to make it.
No, this isn't Bitcoin. It's bits.
And-
Twitch
Right.
bits.
And
Right. Well, yeah.
Okay, I'm
sure,
just making sure.
And-
My
and
mom,
can
my
you-
mom
Sure, no,
had
I get it.
my mom had the same a confusion like that.
Can you
She's
cash
like,
them in?
it counts as revenue towards my stream. So I can only get revenue like money into like PayPal and then into my bank at 100. So I have to gain $100 in revenue before I can put it into my
And-
bank
Oh,
account.
see,
So-
that's turned into real money. Sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how much
Yeah.
is a bit worth?
I don't know. I don't look. I don't know the.
Is it a variable?
No, it's
currency,
you
or-
can it's got a standard. I just don't know it because I don't to buy bits.
Because you have to get a lot of. Basically, you got to do a lot to get to $100 of revenue.
Yeah, I do.
So you've got cash in your Twitch account, but
I do.
You have to. I mean,
but I have like $6 in revenue.
So you
which
just have
I
$94
appreciate.
left to go.
I appreciate so much. I have one subscriber. It's one of those things where like subscriber means something different to YouTube, where like you can subscribe to a YouTube channel for free, but when you subscribe to a Twitch channel, you're actually giving money to that streamer. So I do have a subscriber who. He's actually the same when I actually made affiliate, like the next day, this guy subscribed to my channel.
Now,
so it's the same guy.
Now, people actually deposit money into Twitch accounts that they have to use to subscribe to a channel?
Yes.
And what did they get for a subscription other than following it?
They get. It depends on how many sub points you have, because that's another thing. So if I had enough sub points, I could give my subscribers a custom emote. So I could draw like my channel. If you go to my channel, you'll see Mint Jelly, my sheep mascot.
Okay.
I could draw a picture of Mint Jelly smiling, and set that as an emote. So anybody who subscribed to me would be able to use that emote anywhere.
Oh.
In any Twitch chat room.
I see. So you get specialized pixels.
Yeah. Well, it's a form of advertising, because if somebody was like, hey, where'd you get that emote? Oh, I got it by subscribing to Lumish. So maybe they subscribe to Lumish.
Now, how much does it cost to subscribe to a channel?
They have different packages, but I think it's like $4 a month. So like you could subscribe like 6 months for like $10 and stuff like that. But
and you pay per channel, or you buy a block of subscriptions and use them where you want?
I'm not absolutely sure how that works.
Yeah, this is the money to subscribe to get emotes. The kids are into some interesting thing these days.
It's not just the emotes; it's also knowing you're supporting that.
Well, I get that it goes beyond
that viewer,
It's
that streamer.
It's donations. It's
there's probably more that somebody would get, because like partner, I wouldn't have to really worry too much about sub points. Like if I were a partner right now,
right,
I could make an emote just right now.
Well, yeah, when you get to a certain level, you're making money, but the streaming in general is really not being very kind to the content providers.
That's true.
YouTube is getting worse. I mean, YouTube made a huge change to their algorithms, that suddenly people that were making a living on YouTube found that they couldn't make a living on YouTube anymore. It's almost like,
sure.
Suddenly one day you walk into your job, the boss walks up to your desk and says, hey, we had a meeting last night and your paycheck's being cut in half.
Oh, yeah.
Good
No.
talk. And that's where the whole donation model has come in, where people have the Patreons.
Right.
It's basically YouTube screwed
Which
us.
is really a third-party deal, right?
Right.
It is.
It's basically people voluntarily.
Yeah, because
sending
I
money.
watch some guys who'll say, "Oh yeah, hit my Patreon thing," or buy products from these websites, because that's how I got supported.
And that's because YouTube ain't sharing the profits anymore with the people that are actually providing the content.
But they even also way upped the level to monetize your channel.
Yes, that was.
So you have to have a
the most
shitload of
recent
subscribers.
change.
So if you're getting started, it's even much harder.
Yeah,
exactly. That is the most
because even just a
recent
couple
change.
years ago, a guy says, "I'm monetizing the channel. I don't have that many users, but these are the features that I get for that."
Well,
you can throw together some videos and have them scheduled when to appear.
It was that jackass that streamed the corpse that caused that problem, right?
I mean, it happened shortly after. They could have been working on something like this, but they're using that as a reason why they're changing things.
There's been issues.
Technically, he wouldn't be affected by it because he has the numbers and the views to back him up.
But no, the issue is that a lot of the advertising that generates revenue is automated, and there's been some cases of ads running on material that is not family friendly or offensive, and that's causing issues with the advertisers wanting more control over where their ads are being placed.
Funny enough, like the
which-
opposite has happened with like LGBT.
I mean, we advertise condoms and no one's offended, right?
Well, no, yeah, but this is we're plugging things, and if anyone were paying attention, maybe Trojan would call us up and say, "Hey, leave us out of your show." You know, even though I like going Trojan Man,
But
Trojan Man. Yeah,
it's a double-edged sword because, like I said, when the new algorithms came into play, a lot of LGBT content was demonetized, even if it was safe for work or had had nothing.
yeah.
Just automatically, if it was
the
labeled LGBT,
Discrimination.
then
Well, the-
they'd get
the problem
notices and
is
say-
that
Yeah,
they're
but that's
trying-
because you got these assholes that will report the bad content.
yeah,
the-
the algorithm sucks.
The problem is that they're trying to automate something that is not automatable, and I think that's why YouTube needed to cut down on the amount of material it was going to advertise on, because it's realized we need to better review the material. That means
But they're not
more-
willing to hire the people.
more man hours, more work.
Oh, but they'll
let's
automatically,
reduce the content.
Promote things like Breitbart and
You know,
Fox News.
they were in over their head. They couldn't manage the situation that was getting under control. I mean, this is the nice way to put it. I've heard it put nicely. Now, I'm sure YouTube could do this better and are being typical corporate America, full of greed, because heaven forbid we cut our bonuses this year.
I mean,
Meanwhile, big companies like, let's just say Pepsi-Cola, can throw all kinds of content on YouTube. It'll be monetized, it'll be whatever, and YouTube's totally happy with it.
Yeah, well, we know what that is, and that's more
And even if they would get reported, quote unquote, it would probably be ignored.
yeah, most likely.
well,
Whereas
let's not
they-
mince words. It's Google. You know, Google owns YouTube.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, it
Absolutely.
is
Like,
Google, but
saying
they,
Google can't hire people to look at YouTube,
Sure.
YouTube and
let's-
keep track of
let's
things.
keep the other side of that sword, because I once saw a quote someone posted that apparently works, because if a video is flagged as offensive, someone has to watch it to
Yes. Oh yes, I know.
And-
You're
and
going to be talking
apparently-
about the 5-hour videos.
I mean, there are videos that is like literally 10 hours of Nyan Cat. And so someone, if that gets flagged as offensive, someone has to sit and watch 10 hours of that's how
no,
Nyan Cat goes, right?
yes, you're right.
Yeah, was that
It would almost be better if they would limit the time. So if you're not monetized, your videos can be, let's just say 20 minutes. I'm just pulling a number out of the hat.
right. I mean, but
Yeah.
then you got to
And then
things
at
more.
another level, okay, now we'll let you be on an hour.
Well, that actually is how it is. I had to agree to something to be able to post videos longer than like 7 minutes or something like that at one point in time, and I don't know.
But
what's
is there a
changed.
time limit on Hangouts?
4 hours. Or 8. 4 hours.
4 hours, right?
Oh, no, I've seen them posted for 8 hours.
Who knows?
I know I used to get cut off at the 4-hour point.
Maybe they changed it.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
okay, so that Friday show that we did, that ran on for, I think it was like 6 hours.
Yeah.
That posted
Well-
completely, right?
At
Do
some,
Hangouts automatically stream to YouTube?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the YouTube Hangouts do.
Oh, okay.
When you ones you initiate through YouTube's site.
I see.
Yeah, but no. Anyway, the point is that YouTube, Google, its current model, in order to make the changes that are needed for the problem of inappropriate content being monetized, it required more man hours to get the situation under control. They went in a different direction. They decided to cut down the amount of content that was being monetized by putting more stringent requirements on there. And some will argue it's what they needed to do to get it under control. It was this or lose the advertising, and then things are going to go bad from there. But they could have hired up more manpower. They could have,
hiring more manpower bit. Yeah, that could still get kind of tough because remember, YouTube has so many hours of viewing content would take you 1,024 years to see it all.
Well, we're not asking anyone to watch all the old videos.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
Right.
all
Yeah, you'd have
the old
to
videos.
say, so what is the post rate? How many hours are they posting each day or something?
Yeah, and I'm sure they had meetings.
And how
and
many
did
people would have to
calculations.
take to review all that?
The point is they came with a calculation and a decision.
I mean,
was
I'm
made
not
to
saying that there's a
change their
perfect solution
policies.
out there because there
Yeah.
really isn't.
But
To
the
some
thing
extent,
is-
though, when you hit that report button, you're working for them for free.
yeah,
Am I right?
I could see that.
Well, it's
That's why I prefer never to report anybody, even if it's offensive.
Well, no, if you report it, you're not really working for them. You're basically, if you feel strongly enough that you want something to be done about that, you're reporting it. Someone still has to do work to
it's
watch it, verify it, and take it down.
Yeah,
If
but
you
by
see-
flagging it, you've done the first step for them.
If you see someone break into a car, if you call 911, aren't you doing the cop's job for them?
Yeah, reporting things is a
Well,
part
but
of
that's
life.
that's a little bit different because
really.
the cops work for us.
Not really.
No, we're paying the cops.
It all depends on if you feel strongly about it or not. If you feel that, like,
As opposed to, I'm not paying Google.
okay, well, you and me are pretty liberal, easygoing people. We're like, that's offensive,
Yeah.
but, more power to you. Say what you want to say.
But there's some stuff that just shouldn't belong.
No,
there's
like-
some of the alt-right,
So,
stuff
you
that's
see
just
some
way
stuff
beyond the
that's,
pale.
Yeah, swinging dicks might not be appropriate for YouTube.
yeah.
Nah, that's
Yeah, if you
I
saw
get
a
it.
swinging,
Actually, it is.
if you saw a swinging dick on the Cartoon Network channel and your niece watches it, you might want to flag that.
you might want to say, hey, you send us an email to Cartoon Network. Like, hey,
maybe you should take that down.
maybe no dicks on the Cartoon Network, huh?
Right.
Oh God. And speaking of that, just real quick.
So why does Donald
Uh,
Duck have no
Cu-
pants?
Wait. Cubo, station, Cartoon Networks that I watch, had the show Being Ian, and I saw one thing that's like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. It's Canadian, so I know Canadians are into this, but they had this one guy doing a car commercial in a monkey suit, and he went there bent over backwards. And they showed this anus, big red anus, sitting there.
Well, it's a monkey suit. You gotta. Wait, I don't know. I'm not gonna finish that sentence.
Right.
You gotta have
You know
some
how
hot
the
monkey loving.
You know how the monkeys are.
You know where baby monkeys come
the
from.
That's
baboons
right.
with the flash ass. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what an anus!
Yeah. It's like cartoon cats with little X's under their tails.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway.
No, they don't do X's either. They show an actual asshole.
Oh man, Canada, you so cool.
All right. On that note, we've run out of time with our
real
little
quick,
check-in
though,
here.
I think you might find this tweet interesting.
So,
It's bringing two kids disguised as a tall man in a trench coat
Oh yeah.
trying to see Black Panther for the
I
price
saw
of one
that.
person. I thought that was funny.
It was
as
pretty
hell.
cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you. I'll find it and show you the pictures. I saw that.
okay. On that note, we've somehow run out of time here, and now I gotta figure out how to get my other hard drive to work again and get Windows 10 up and running again. But in the meantime,
And dude, you might really like Skylark.
please,
He's doing a bunch of pro-Trump stuff.
in the meantime, we are still in transition right now, I'm figuring out what I want to do. Brian's figuring out we're all figuring out what to do with
I'm not in
streaming.
transition.
No, I mean,
Twitch.tv/Lummish.
Yeah. well,
Lummis.
I'm figuring out how this couch thing could work, because I mean this is fun, but I don't know that I can make this happen every Monday.
Yeah.
And Brian can't broadcast on the weekends, And I don't know if I want to broadcast every Monday and weekends, but I
Yeah,
don't
we'll
want to leave
figure it
this show
out.
behind. So, I mean, I'm figuring out, and a big thing comes down to what everyone wants to do and kind of follow that direction. And so we're going to keep checking in on Mondays. And
Oh, you can't do you can't do 2 shows a week. I do.
I already do 2 shows. I'd be doing 3 shows.
Yeah,
Don't
I
forget
mean, he
doing
does-
Bob.
yeah.
And then sometimes I join him for 5 hit.
Well, see,
Okay,
it's not so much a
then.
problem of doing this show on Monday, because hey, we can do that. We're all here nearly every week. The problem is, do we get the viewers to show up,
Yeah.
you know, to participate with us,
And
or even
that's-
just to be there, be the number count?
And I am still looking for feedback. You know, what do you like? What don't you like? Why did you stop listening if you're not listening anymore? You know, so please hit those fake Facebook pages with your comments. I did post that announcement. You should be able to find it on the No Holds Barred Facebook page. By the way, I have 2 Facebook pages now because I have the Amateur Hour Facebook page is still active, and I figured out it has 48 followers.
Oh, wow.
My insert a Facebook page. I inserted a Facebook page that was new for this show, is what I was saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a perfectly normal way to say that.
Yeah, and so my
Insert title here.
Facebook page has 2 followers.
I think one of them's me.
Well,
I don't know,
I
though.
still like
2
the
people that
idea.
weren't you posted to it,
Hey,
though.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I like
Yeah.
it.
That's
come
on. I'm sorry, that's on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both
Well,
on
invite me
Facebook.
to it, because I'm not in that,
Okay. Well, the thing is, now my dilemma
and I'm
is...
not in the NHB one because no one invited me.
Oh, I'll send you all that information this week. Anyways.
Not that I'm needy.
So I've been trying to
No.
figure out, like, well, maybe I should merge these pages. And it is possible to merge pages, but they have to have similar title names in order to
Oh,
let
they-
you merge
they
them.
really don't do
An
that.
Amateur Hour and
Insert title here.
which is actually called Podcast 2, because I
Huh.
remember I registered the Podcast 2 domain
Oh,
name
right,
when I
yeah.
Well,
first.
could you change the? Can you change the name of it?
Oh, that's the other issue. Do I really want to do that? I mean, because I've used the Amateur Hour page as kind of like a posting about old stuff. Like when we were doing this reunion show, I posted pictures of us, and but the new page has only 2 followers, and when you merge pages, you lose one of them. So I probably want to keep the one with the most followers. I want to keep the Amateur Hour one, but do I really want to keep a page that's named Amateur Hour, or do I rename that page and keep it?
So many questions.
It's yeah. So I'm not even
I think
sure
you're
what
thinking
to do
that
with
that
that.
through too much.
No,
I would just leave them as there are,
Well, yeah, that's why I've not.
and just
merged
start
them.
using the new one. You know,
Well-
for insert title, for insert
Yeah,
sound bit.
Anytime I try to use a new thing, people don't come over from the old thing. This is why. Remember, I created a
Insert title here.
YouTube stream, and we were doing our shows there. But we have a lot more followers on the Johnny Gators YouTube channel than on the
Insert title here.
YouTube channel. So that's why I started streaming back here on Johnny Gators, which is a generic name that goes by my name, so I can get away with it. I'm
It
like,
works.
you know what? That's where the listeners are. That's the channel. Johnny Gators is the channel. So,
Sure. But
you
on
know,
Facebook, you can invite people to come over.
yeah, but they don't.
Well,
So
tough for them. They don't want to
Never
listen.
know till you
So
try.
now I got 2 pages. One that no one watches. It's current. Not that it's current because I don't post any of them anyways. So it all really doesn't matter.
We're all gonna die. It's cool.
Yeah.
Watch
That's
what you
right.
want.
And Pika Jesus will save us.
He will.
But
believe.
on that note,
Pika,
this
pika, amen.
brings another
I don't
episode.
even think that was a thing we said during
I
that.
know. Or if you're Buddhist, you could eat the life-saving Buddha cheese
Yes.
right from the crevice.
What?
I don't remember the exact.
That's on the first show from Oakland. So
Oh,
that
okay,
recording
that's
still
there,
exists.
so-
Somehow we got into a conversation about Buddha cheese, but we also had a conversation about showering with Jesus. Vamp's mother's shower had a big tile pattern of Jesus with children on the shower wall.
Because,
So,
that's what you want looking at
Oh
you.
my
so
God.
yeah,
Yeah.
I when I visited Vamp, I had to shower with Jesus, and
So you had a bunch of little kids, watching her shower.
and Jesus.
Jesus makes it okay. It's cool.
Well, it's okay. It was white Jesus, so it wasn't.
Oh,
it
there we
wasn't the
go.
real Jesus. It was an imposter.
It was Josh. Wait, no, Josh. Josh is his real name, actually. Joshua.
So Yeshua.
Yeshua.
Yeshua,
Joshua.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, we do try to be educational here. So let's go around the room and talk about what we've learned here this week. And let's start with Brian. Brian, what have you learned?
Well, it's fun to kind of relook at the history of what we're trying to do here, and even before I got in it, and I picked up a few new things that I didn't really know before, which is fine. Yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
Cool. And Venison, what have you learned?
Well, I can kind of say this again. I've learned that supposedly the top computer tech and tech support person still can't even get his own equipment to work properly, as it all burns around them.
You learned that tonight? I learned that a while ago.
And what have you learned?
But he confirmed it.
Let's see, what have I learned tonight? I learned that Rickroll would still be a really good name for a sushi roll, because I am hungry for sushi now. Like, put some salmon on top, because he's a redhead.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know what to put in the middle.
And it's the sushi's so good that you'll never be able to give it up.
Oh, God.
You'll never be able to let it go.
Sushi might not be a good idea, considering all
eel roll
the
with...
possibility of parasites.
Whatever. You only live once, YOLO. I mean the parasite sushi.
Parasite sushi, there you go. Well, that'd be... You just don't get sushi at a truck stop and you'll be fine.
Yeah. It's all good.
Tonight
you get the great stuff.
And tonight I have learned there is definitely some kind of mass conspiracy conspiring against me to make sure that I can't do a show from this room.
The gremlins hate this room.
Hey, but we made it to the end without crashing.
We did.
We did.
And you're only a half
hour late. Why is that light
late?
blinking?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, we'll see how things go. Stay tuned for more couch shows.
Maybe.
We got the chemistry.
And from that last, no show tonight, the computer crashed. And then a few minutes later,
wait, never mind.
Show, just as I was getting ready to go to bed.
You know what happened? I couldn't get video to come out of my computer, and so first I thought it was the TV not cooperating, so I brought out another TV. Then that didn't work.
Of course, you skirned Samsung at that time.
Well, because then at this point, the computer was working before I brought it into this room. The cord's working, but then the other TV doesn't work. Now, this TV burnt out the HDMI cables on my receiver, so I thought, oh, great, it burned out my video cards. But then I take the computer back in my room, no video. I swap the video card, still no video. I'm like, oh, it burnt out the slot in the motherboard. Switch to another slot in the motherboard, no video. I have a USB extender cable that the dongle for my wireless mouse and keyboard is connected to, and it's kind of wrapped around the pole. So I just took the dongle and plugged it into the front USB port on my tower. And so I'm putting things back where it should be. I pull the dongle out of the USB port. I turn the computer on one more time. Bam, Windows comes right up. For some reason, my front USB port is shorting something out that makes the video card not work if something's in it.
By the way, is that your tower, on the floor next to, by the edge of the screen?
Well, yes, I had.
Yeah.
I had. Remember, I had to swap hard drives to get the Windows 7 drive to work.
And that's why it's not working, because it's sideways.
It was standing up when I was doing
enough.
this.
We're on the air, aren't we?
That's because my Windows 10 drive is here, and my
Right.
old Windows 7 drive is in there.
Right.
I had Brian on speakerphone when I'm like, I can't get this because the BIOS was saying the drive was there, but it was saying there was no bootable device. And here's the thing: once I figured out the dongle thing, Windows 10 logon screen came up on my computer. I'm like, oh my god, we can pull this off. We can make this work. So I put the tower into here. I connect it to the TV. I hit the power button. No boot device. I reset it. No boot device. I go into the BIOS. The hard drive's there and listed. No boot device.
It's just some bad juju in this room.
Yeah, so it's like, oh my god, there's definitely something working against me. So I've learned that there's a hex on this room.
So Maybe couch stream will be kitchen stream.
Well, yeah, I don't know. We can move the couch. Maybe it's the couch though. If we try it in the kitchen and it still doesn't work, then we know it's the couch.
All right, there we go.
Because we can use a
You
little
need a better
TV in the
couch.
kitchen. I don't know.
Oh, we
Oh,
can do
real
that.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out the New York thing is a no-go. I had the address wrong. He lives in Ohio. But it might be good because apparently there's a lot of weed in Ohio.
Yeah, I'm not really.
Ohio's kind of a longer trip, isn't
road
it?
trip to Ohio, not in the car.
Yeah, really.
But
I'm
it sounds
thinking
like
that
you've got a
too.
manageable situation because you can rent a U-Haul for a day. You can load a lot of shit into that thing. You can get it to Ohio.
Yeah.
And if you need help loading the truck, maybe I can come down. You know,
Oh, really?
I'll help you load up a truck.
Wow.
What a nice
wow.
guy.
Heck, I can crash
He's
at my
a good
parents' place.
guy.
Can't even get a friend to do that, down here. And meanwhile, I had somebody from 2 states away come down and help.
Johnny
That's
Gator's a good
friendship.
guy.
I'll come down for a
Good.
weekend. Hey, I got family in the area, so I got a place I can crash.
Well, hey, Seth came out to California to help you, right, Johnny?
Yeah,
That's
well,
true.
well, I paid for the plane ticket.
Well,
Well, but even still,
Yeah.
I mean, he was still willing to do it.
Oh yeah, he did.
I know, but if somebody paid for my plane ticket, I'd go anywhere.
I mean, San Francisco is pretty nice, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't.
got-
I didn't
you got
help
a San
because I'm
Francisco
just too
trip.
fucking old.
I mean, he didn't. I mean, he helped us pack some boxes, but we really hung out most of the time. It was the movers that
did,
packed up
yeah.
most of the stuff. It
Yeah.
was more of a. He helped us move a couch. It was more like, hey, why don't you come out and hang out with us? It was a last
Really,
hurrah.
you're fucking
Exactly.
old. You're only 1 year older than me, and I'd do it. You lazy fuck.
Anyways, on that note, thank everyone for listening. I got to move a tower back into my room and break it again. Good night.
All right, see ya.
There. Lazy ass.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
allowed that one.
Now to find my encoder window.
There you go.
There it is. All right. And
Bye.
we are off the stream, and